Championship night at historic Bowman Gray Stadium.
This is what you dream of.
4 hot months of bumper-banging, door-slamming action at the Madhouse has led us to one final battle under the lights. Every year, title contenders lay it all on the line to be on top. From heroic comebacks to rivalries renewed and nail-biting finishes, 2025 has had it all.
You can win here 150 times and it never gets old. There's something about this place.
The stage is set and the stadium will be rocking as rising stars, legends, and former champions enter the Madhouse, all grasping for glory. Who will be crowned champions in 2025? Buckle up and find out next.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the 1128th edition of still the most exciting of them all, Bowman Gray Stadium, and tonight it's championship finale. Oh boy, double points on the line for the Ag South Farm Credit 150 championship weekend live on Flow Racing. Double points. This is going to be wild as a big crowd has assembled here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina for the grassroots short track so beloved by everybody in America.
How big is this evening, Matthew Dillner? Everything comes down to this double points, like you said. 4 races, a straight-up card for this evening. The law offices of John Barrow Sportsman Division go at it for 40 laps to open up the evening. Then the Ag South Farm Credit 150 for the Brad's Golf Cars Modifieds. The street stocks go out at the QRC HVAC Refrigeration street stocks for 20, and the Q104.1 stadium stocks for 15 laps to round out the 76th season of racing here at Bowman Gray Stadium.
So 4 races, not our usual card like last week where we had twin features in 2 different divisions, but last week's winners were a big headline last week. Of course, look at the top right there. For the 6th time ever, the Myers-Brown double was polled. Big history with both of those drivers hitting historic marks in this division.
They keep on bouncing back and forth and taking the all-time record away from each other. They're sort of trading it back and forth like a baton. Sterling Clemens and Chase Robertson took the win in the Sportsman division. Brad Lewis got the win in the Street Stock division, and Levi Holt and Brandon Brindle were your winners in the Stadium Stocks 1 week ago.
Well, folks, double points tonight is on the line. And the championships are what everybody is talking about no matter what division it is. And double points, well, you know, you might have a big point lead like Brandon Ward, all these big point leads and all these scenarios we're talking about, but it almost gives you a false sense of security with double points tonight. And you see it right there. Brandon Ward leading the way in the Brad's Golf Cars Modified division. He must finish 14th or better to get this championship. But, hey, he's got some hot ones behind him with Burt Myers, of course, Tim Brown. Look at the Sportsman division. Chase Robertson, 7th or better. That's the scenario tonight. 7th or better also for Brandon Lee Brendel. And everybody's talking about that street stock battle. That is the tightest one. We're going to talk a lot about it tonight. Brian Sykes Jr., can he get his first championship here, the second-generation driver?
Brian Sykes Jr. with a lot of pressure. You could tell they were ready for this evening when I went over to the pits earlier, but there were some nerves about the pits of the 99 car, too. This is not a position he's been in before. There's a lot on the line for him, but for Brad Lewis and the rest of the field in the street stocks as well.
Well, I'll tell you what, last week's race in the street stock was what everybody has been talking about. Look at it right there. Closing laps. Your points leader chops down on the last lap. On the second place points man, Brad Lewis. Sykes goes around for a spin. Did he get taken out? Did Sykes come down on him? Everybody's been talking about it. If Sykes had finished second, he would have been sitting pretty in the points lead. Now he finished 14th last week. It's closed the margin to 6. Wow.
Well, Brad Lewis said a lot of great stuff, but there's a lot of great stuff that's going to happen later tonight as well.
That sure is. And right now we're doing the racer's prayer, so let's toss it downstairs real quick for that.
Brian Sykes Jr., if he finishes second, he will guarantee a championship. And over in the Stadium Stock division, Brandon Brindle, if he finishes in the top 8, he will guarantee a stadium stock title. It'll all be decided here momentarily. Race fans, now I invite you to join with me in the racer's prayer. Lord, I pray as I race today, keep me safe along the way, not only me but others too, as they perform the jobs they do. I know, Lord, that in a race, I, the driver, must set the pace. But in this race of life, I pray, help me, Lord, along the way. Although I know I'm a sinner, help me to believe that with Christ, you're always a winner. Amen. And now please remain standing as you're able, removing your caps and your hats as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Race fans, you know what they say. Saturday night's all right for racing. So please join with me for the final time in 2025. Say it loud and proud with me. Let's go racing!
Wow, here we go. A packed house at Bowman Gray Stadium, ready for the championship finale night. We'll be back on Flow Racing with it all. We've got a chase. A chase is on. Oh!
Tiger's getting into Zach Orr. Zach Orr's got a flat.
Zach Orr now is in carnage. Cars wrecking. Ryan Robertson is collected. She hangs on. Amber Lynn wins again. We are back live on Flow Racing and, of course, on the NASCAR channel on Tubi. Folks, I hope you're watching. I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready for this. The season finale at Bowman Gray Stadium is unlike anything else in sports. The Sportsman Division cars have hit the track for their 40-lap finale. Let's give you the starting lineup for this one. On the pole in their Jerry Hunt Super Center, number 31 is your points leader. Drawing the pole, the 17-time winner this year, Jerry Hunt Super Center 31, it's Chase Robertson. To the outside, a driver of much controversy the last few weeks from DQs, but he is back and the car is legal. The Pulse Vodka number 55 for Zach Orr.
Starting in the third position out of Walberg, North Carolina, racing for Jerry Hunt Super Centers is Ryan Robertson, and starting in fourth out of Thomasville, North Carolina, driving the number 38 Auto Supply of Thomasville machine, it's the good guy, Mitch Gales.
Starting in fifth tonight, the Pendry Home Solutions 03 for the Rockstar, Sterling Plemons. To the outside, the Salmon River Maple Products car, the 27 for the Furnace, AJ Burness.
Starting in the seventh position out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, racing the Velocity machine, it's Jim Schoaf, and starting in the eighth spot in the number 28 out of Lexington, North Carolina, racing for CNC Lock and Key, it's Nate Gregg.
Starting in the ninth position, the Harkey Litigation 21, it's the Tiger, Tommy Neal. To the outside of the number 8 Bark Buddies machine, it's the Dog, Kyler Kepley.
Starting in the 11th position out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, racing for Louis Custom Showers in the number 68 machine, it's Chase Lewis. In starting in 12th out of Lexington, North Carolina, and the Carolina Cowboys, number 15, it's T. Dawson.
Starting in lucky position 13, the weight interior is 51 for Austin Taylor. To the outside, the Izzy Bay 86, number 37 for Chris Massey.
Starting in the 15th position out of Walkertown, North Carolina, in the 02 Walkabout Flooring car, it's Amber Lynn. And starting in 16th in the number 12 machine, racing for EME Concrete Specialist out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, it's Justin Taylor.
Starting in 17th tonight, Justin Hicks filling in the number 97 Everything Euro car. And to the outside, the big guy in the number 7, 18-time winner, Dylan Ward.
Starting in the 19th position out of Clemens, North Carolina, in the number 2 machine, racing for Crosswinds Construction, it's Sparky Austin Jones. And starting in the 20th position out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, in the number 88 Little Nose machine, it's Chris Taylor.
Starting scratch on the field, a great veteran of this division, running part-time this year in the Eveready Mixed Concrete car, the number 19 of Michael Adams. A packed house here at Bowman Gray Stadium, set to watch the championship finale. You know what was really cool? I've been to a lot of these. But, you know, you look at some drivers that we've seen here at the stadium. This one stands out to me. The number 31 of Chase Robertson. The young driver that races like a veteran, week after week, keeping his nose clean in a racetrack that it's almost darn near impossible to do so. And then the driver behind him, what's been the feel-good story of the year, second place in points, the good guy, Mitch Gales.
So much fun to see these two go at it. So much fun for the bad luck that Mitch Gales has run into the last few seasons. This has been the kind of season where if you knew everything could go right, and if you knew he'd have a shot, and everything for the most part has gone right for Mitch Gales this year. Hasn't gotten himself caught up in too many incidents. A good look there at Tiger Tommy Neal's very famous Harkey Litigation, that red machine of the Tiger number 21. There's Justin Taylor in the 12 car. But for Chase Robertson, sort of to your point, incredibly consistent all year long.
Well, look at this. Double points explained. I love this graphic. So if you're watching at home and you don't understand it, this is a perfect graphic to show, okay? Because, you know, usually if you finish first or second or third, the person behind you is 2 points to the less of you. Tonight, that's doubled, so it's 4-point gaps per position. So tonight is huge. No other racetrack in America decides their championships with a double points finale. This is something that's uniquely Bowman Gray. And you know what? When you hear the word unique, it's synonymous with Bowman Gray Stadium. As 17,000 fans rise to their feet on a beautiful North Carolina Saturday night. They're clapping, they're cheering because the Sportsman 40 and the championship finale is underway.
And what a start there for Zach Orr to go to the outside of Chase Robinson. Unbelievable work there from Orr to stay alongside him. He jumps in, and then Robertson keeps it down on the inside there in the north turn, still door-to-door, and still side-by-side here as we complete the first lap.
Wow, what a battle we have here. Orr to the outside, 2 weeks in a row of disqualifications. He and that 55 team brought their new horsepower out. They dropped the oil pan, had it inspected, had it sealed. Well, he's putting all the doubters to rest right now. Powering on the outside. That is the tough way around this place. But what clean driving by the driver to his inside, Chase Robertson.
Power is the key word there for Zach Orr. It takes a tremendous amount of power in your power plant to make the pass on the outside. He drops down right in front of Chase Robertson and the two drivers that were battling for the title last season, 1 and 2, to start off the Sportsman finale in 2025.
Man, he didn't want to be on that outside any longer. And he kind of sent a message like, I'm going down on you here. I'm just going to move down here because I want that spot. And he knows that Chase is probably going to lift because Chase Robertson right now just needs to have a steady finish. And he has this championship absolutely locked up. But the battle right now is on a few spots behind that. Tommy Neal in the number 21 is creeping up. You see him in the red 21 getting by Jim Schoaf, the advanced, the veteran driver of the number 14 machine that Brad Smith owns.
Had a great shot here just beneath us in the tower. We've got Zach Orr and Chase Robertson fans right next to each other in the same section. The Orr fans were on their feet clapping their driver forward. The Robertson fans were waving at Chase saying, go, go, go Chase down the race leader. Right now, Orr's actually opened up maybe about a two or three car length gap on Robertson. The key, though, for Robertson, though, nothing else mattered besides where Mitch Gales is. And right now, Mitch Gales is 4 spots back at Chase Robertson, and Sterling Clemens looks to the inside of Ryan Robertson for the 3rd position.
40 lappers here, and you look at Sterling Clemens. He is losing patience. He wants to get around the 23 of Ryan Robertson. He gives him a little bumper there, and yellow flag comes out just at a good time for Ryan Robertson.
First call 811 before you did
some sheet metal hanging off a car, so I think we have some debris. Sorry there, bud. But the Chase Lewis number 68 is dragging sheet metal all over the racetrack.
There's also a little bit of damage to the left rear of A.J. Burness, red and yellow number 24.
Right there in the screen. Look at that.
You see Lewis's machine there missing.
Well, Chase Lewis last week had the left side sheet metal hanging off. He just wanted to, the right
balance
side
it
sheet
out,
metal,
right?
balance it out.
Yeah,
So
no,
this
makes sense. So he'll go to the work area and get that sheet metal pulled away.
There's the Burness machine, the number 24. The driver from upstate New York that now resides down here in North Carolina. Grew up at a place like Oswego Speedway, one of the great racetracks in America. Of course, the Budweiser Classic coming up on Labor Day weekend on Flow Racing. Super Modifieds at a lightning fast track, the Steel Palace. If you've ever seen a super modified, you know they are the most wild creations you'll ever see. But, folks, it's a carnival-esque atmosphere here right now at Bowman Gray Stadium. As I look down, because I was peeking to see where my son's sitting. My son is sitting right now with his cousin and my brother Bob, and they are all enjoying themselves down here in the grandstands amongst the Madhouse maniacs. What a sight to behold when you look at this arena of speed and you see the grandstand so packed. So many places in America that race NASCAR, grassroots, short track racing, and almost all of them, when I talk to people, are envious of one thing about this place. They're envious of the crowd. The passion that comes from these fans, too, is just something that pours over that stadium facade, pours over into the racetrack, pours over into the action, and heck, it pours over into the booth. We hear them up here when something happens, and they make themselves known. Cone restart here. Cone restart. Caution laps are not counting for this 40-lapper, but we do have the choose cone. Right now, your championship points leader chooses the outside of the front row. He is going for it because he knows his brother is in 3rd position. That will be Ryan Robertson. So he's got the pad of knowing he could probably get down in 2nd if he needs it because he has a friendly.
A friendly face.
A friendly.
A friendly face. A friendly name.
Yeah. And then, hey, taking the outside right behind him look at the yellow roof car in fourth position. That's Mitch Gales, the number 38 black and yellow machine. He is your second place points man. Here we go. 9 laps on the board. Zach Orr first to the loud pedal. Chase Robertson, will he stick it down to the inside? He does, coming out of 2. Now let's look at the 38 on the outside for fourth. That's your second place points man. Mitch Gales stuck on the outside in the 5th position. He gets a little bit of a fender, almost gets up into the wall.
You know, if I'm Mitch Gales, there are a few people I think I would want to have behind me more than Tommy Neal, as much as Tommy Neal's not afraid to get up on the wheel. Gales is trapped there. Amberlin to his inside. Here comes Tommy Neal. Here comes Justin Taylor. If Jim Show can get tucked up behind Taylor, it could be 4 spots that Mitch Gales loses, but he continues to slide back. And this is the absolute worst case scenario for Gale so far as the championship fight is concerned. Now he'll try and force his way down, and does in front of Jim Show. But that puts him back almost maybe 8th or 9th in the running order.
That's a gentleman move right there from the veteran Jim Show and the number 14, knowing what's going on in the points battle. And Mitch Gales was desperate to get down to the bottom there and make the bleeding stop. Now the battle is on for the 3rd position. We saw it right before we hit the yellow flag. Sterling Clemens' number 03 is all over Robertson's number 23 going into the north turn.
The rock star with the move down on the inside to try and get around Ryan Robertson. Good drive off the corner for Sterling Clemens. Maybe the slightest contact at the beginning of the south turn. Turns 1 and 2 for those unfamiliar here to Bowman Gray, but Sterling Clemens completes the pass. And we've got a Greg there that's going to ride up right alongside of Robertson there in 3 and 4. The north turn here at Bowman Gray. Amberlin tucked up to the inside, trying to make the move on Ryan Robertson as well, and slide it back to the 5th spot. Tommy Neal is there. Robertson could go back to 6th before he can get back in line.
Wow, Ryan Robertson. The outside is just a tough place to be here. Especially, sometimes this track gets cleaned off during the week. Takes some of the rubber off of it. Some drivers were questioning if it had happened. You see the 21 get by Robertson right there. You can give him the 6th spot right now. 17 laps into the 40 laps here. Working our way towards halfway. Zach Orr has controlled this race just about from the drop. Got the lead from Chase Robertson early. Sterling Clemens has worked his way up through the field. Started this race in the 5th spot. Now currently runs 3rd. Nate Gregg is 4th. Amberlin up to 5th. Little bit of smoke there out of Sterling Clemens in 1 and 2. A little bit further back, you can see Gregg and Amberlin and Tommy Neal on screen racing for 4th, 5th, and 6th. And further back, good battle here with Jim Show. Oh, there goes Dylan Ward to the inside. That radical-looking number 7 machine moves him up, and there is the Justin Hicks car. But now a battle is on up front as Clemens gets by for the 2nd spot, gets by Chase Robertson as we're halfway. The 03 gets by. That is the fastest car on the racetrack currently, is the driver of the 03 Pendry Home Solutions machine. Nate Gregg now to the backside of Chase Robertson in the north turn. The black and aqua car making gains.
While we watch these drivers work their way around, we talked to Chase Robertson a little bit earlier, asked him what it would take to win another championship here at Bowman Gray. This is what he had to say.
I don't even have words about how sweeter that would be, just because for all the obstacles that we've had this year. And, it's been a great year, no doubt about that, but the last 2 months have kind of been a little rough on us, but I got the best team with me, so I know that we can do it.
Well, he knows he can do it. That is a championship driver. The yellow flag is out. That's your 2022 Rookie of the Year. Then he follows it up in his sophomore year with the magical season, the magical championship. Last year comes oh so close to repeating as a champion, and Zach Orr gets it. And this year he's at the top of the heap again. I mean, he won the other week at Ace Speedway in a limited late model. He finished 3rd last night in a limited late model at Ace Speedway. This is a kid that's going places. I'm just telling you. I've seen a lot of race car drivers come through Bowman Gray Stadium. And I would say, I'd hang my hat on this one. I think this is a kid that could really be going places outside of Bowman Gray Stadium and using this place as that stepping stone to do so.
And that's part of the vision, I think, for NASCAR, and especially when they took over the operations here at the stadium. Part of the idea is to get this place to a spot where even more drivers can springboard themselves onto the national NASCAR landscape. You see it at a lot of other tracks in the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series as we come to the 2 and choose, and the cone is out. And I think that's a big thing because this is a massive market for racing. You look at TV ratings, Greg's going to go to the outside, but this is one of the top markets for NASCAR week in, week out. There are a lot of people that could call Bowman Gray home and go on to things bigger and brighter on the national stage.
Well, look at that. The black and aqua machine of Nate Gregg hops up from the 4th position to be daring enough to take the outside here at the stadium. Alongside, for the restart, the number 55 of Zach Orr. That's a bold, brave, and brash youngster in that 28 who's not afraid to ruffle some feathers. Works on his own cars, too. Green flag is out. Talk about another one moving up, and that would be Amber Lynn, now up to the 4 spot. Dropping Robertson back to 5th. The 28 is hung up on the outside, but he charges hard to try to keep that car forward momentum. He files down into the 2 spot. Will he get the room? Yes, he does.
2 different agendas I can see immediately amongst the top 5. If you're Chase Roberts and Mitch Gales, you are trying to race for a championship. You'd like to win, but it's not a necessity. But don't tell that to Greg or Orr or Clemens or Amber Lynn. All 4 of them are trying to get to the front and make this an unbelievable battle to take the final checkered flag and the final trip to Carolina Wood Floors Victory Lane here at Bowman Gray Stadium in 2025. Orr currently your leader, but not getting away from Greg, not getting away from Clemens, and Amber Lynn is keeping on their coattails pretty tightly as well.
Just looking at the championship right now, Chase Robertson is your points leader. Mitch Gales has to finish 8 positions ahead of Chase Robertson. Right now, he is 4 positions the other direction. He's 4 positions behind Chase Robertson. So right now, Mitch Gales at 38 as we come to 12 laps to go, something like that. I'm not good at math. As it comes to this point of the race, Mitch Gales in that 38 needs a miracle. And does that miracle come with the yellow flag?
All right, third call, 811 before you did caution, and a few cars moving slowly. Justin Hicks is slow in the south turn, and I saw T. Dawson and his Carolina Cowboys number 15 on the grass, the inside of the north turn. And I guess we should probably go over that very quickly before we move on further. So for those unfamiliar with Bowman Gray Stadium.
And there's a new audience watching tonight, so that's a great point.
Welcome to those watching on the NASCAR channel. But here at Bowman Gray, colloquially, these turns are known as the south and the north turn. The south turn roughly equates to turns 1 and 2 at a traditional oval. The north turn to turns 3 and 4. So if we mention that, that's what we're talking about because it's a little bit tighter here. You basically just treat it like one single turn anyway, you know?
Yeah, pretty much. And it's a traditional thing, folks. If you're not familiar with the stadium, the cone is coming out now, folks. The choose cone, the Traffic Control Safety Services choose cone, which is a fun thing. You know, the people that ran this place and started NASCAR racing here was Bill France himself and Alvin Hawkins, and that was a tradition they carried over from the Daytona Beach and Road Course. So taking the outside will be Sterling Clemens in the 03. Tommy Neal hops up to the top. Oh, the Tiger is going to see if he can shake things up here on this lap 29 restart.
Also worth noting, Chase Robertson going to restart 7th. Mitch Gales going to restart 11th when this all shakes out as Jimmy Amsher pulls the modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle into its place inside the north turn. We'll go racing with 11 laps to go as Zach Orr and Sterling Clemens stand on the gas pedal. We're back to green flag racing. Nate Gregg with the slide behind them to take third. Orr with a drive down to the inside. Clemens trying to clear Gregg for second, but Zach Orr all by himself down on the back straight.
Right now, the side-by-side battle for second is what everybody's looking for. Give it to Greg, sideways off the corner. The 03 goes down to the bottom, 10 laps to go in this one. Amber Lynn has also entered the party. Here comes the 03, the rock star, to the inside.
Sterling Clemens with another dive to the bottom, this time on Nate Gregg inside of the north turn. He's got the track position in the car there. They make contact in the south turn. Amber Lynn looking for an opportunity to take advantage, but for now, Sterling Clemens will get second. Amber Lynn looking for third.
She forces her nose in there and fills the hole. Here comes Amber Lynn, the leading lady. She has been disqualified recently for infractions in technical inspection. She wants to prove a point tonight. She wants to put an explanation point on this one. Oh, trouble towards the back. Mitch Gales, your second place points man. 38 is slow on the backstretch. This could be it, possibly, for Mitch Gale's title hopes.
He does not go into the work area this first time around, but that car is struggling to move as it exits the north turn and comes back on the front straightaway. What kind of trouble has Mitch Gale's gotten himself into or found here at Bowman Gray? That car slowly rolling right up to the start-finish line.
Wow. This is a big story. Mitch Gale's, though, no matter what happens tonight, this is going to be a season that Mitch just, looks back on with a great fondness. 2 wins for that driver of the Auto Supply of Thomasville car. And, a season that's a Cinderella season, basically for an old veteran, a guy that, you think his better years might be behind him? Well, no, he comes out here and just really shows him stuff, worked week after week to get this car running good, and he's been a force to be reckoned with. Here's a replay of what happened. Oh, yeah, it looks like the car lost power there. Schoaf did a good job not running him over, and so did Austin Jones in that number 2 machine, Tyler Kepley and Chase Lewis as well. That's a sad sight right there to see his season possibly end behind the field house. He'll return to his crew in the open trailer. Open Trailer Mafia loves them some Mitch Gales. Kona's coming out, lap 33. 7 laps to go. Let's see who's going to be bold enough to take the top. The leader, obviously, to the inside. Oh, Sterling Plemons to the inside. Here comes Amber Lynn to the top. She's going to put on a show, as she does almost every time she's at the stadium. Look at the fans leading over the concrete facade.
Worth noting, too, before we go back to green, now that Mitch Gale's back in the work area, that does open up the opportunity for Tommy Neal and Justin Taylor to potentially overtake him for second in the standings. A fabulous season for Mitch Gale's regardless, but something to keep in track. If you
and Neal can still win this title.
Right.
Neal can still win this title if he finishes 11 spots ahead of Chase Robertson here.
Back to green flag racing. Contact there between Plemons and Orr as they come back to the stripe to restart this race. Orr able to gather it up. Amberlin trying to run that high line. Sterling Plemons by himself in third. Now with a good drive down the back, trying to get underneath Amberlin for second. Greg with the contact there inside sends everybody up the racetrack. Meanwhile, Zach Orr will love seeing all of this in his rearview mirror as we have a spin further back in the field to bring out the call. 1-1 bring a caution, and now Sterling Plemons and Amberlin go around. Greg gets into it. Trouble everywhere here at the Madhouse inside of the final 10 laps.
Look at the fans. They're going crazy. I was looking over at that wreck. What happened? What happened? Wow. The fans are going bananas here at Bowman Gray Stadium. We've got wrecks on both ends of the racetrack. You see the torn-up car of Nate Gregg right there, missing its door panel, the black and teal machine. What happened there? Both ends of the racetrack, we have incidents, and it appeared, I don't know. I literally don't know what happened. That's the first time.
The caution came out for the incident over by the exit of the north turn, the fourth. And after we got the yellow, as they were slowing down, there was contact somewhere in the ballpark of Sterling Plemons, Nate Gregg, and Amber Lynn. I saw Lynn go around as well. She was one of them. I off the top of my head, I can't immediately remember who the other two were, but there were 2 separate incidents on opposite ends of the racetrack, and so a little bit more damage than we initially accounted for. So while they tend to T. Dawson's machine and get that car fixed up,
Mitch Gales looks like he's going to hit the track again, but let's look at this is what happened after the caution. Oh, Plemons gets into Amber Lynn. Look at the crowd erupt.
So Plemons gets into Lynn, and then Greg gets into Plemons, and Plemons got a little damage out of that too.
But it looked like the yellow flag was already out. Oh, look at the damage on the Chase Lewis number 68. Huge damage to that race car, and here comes Mitch Gales to return to the racetrack.
So Gale's going to have a little bit of fun here. The scores of Bowman Gray going to have to keep track of the points here to see who potentially gets that runner-up spot and if anyone can challenge Chase Robertson. In the meantime, though, we'll take a quick break and we'll be back with more action from the NASCAR Advance Auto Parts Weekly Series live from Bowman Gray Stadium on Flow Racing.
Welcome back to historic Bowman Gray Stadium. The fans are going crazy in the grandstands for this one. It's the championship finale night, and you're watching it live on Flow Racing or on the NASCAR Tubi channel. We're welcoming you to one of the great spectacles of auto racing. That is the famed quarter mile around a football field. That is Bowman Gray Stadium. 17,000 raucous fans rocking this facility right now, and they just witnessed some carnage in the sportsman division.
Rex, at two separate ends of the racetrack have us under the call 811 before you get caution with 34 laps complete of 40 in this season finale for the law offices of John Barrow's sportsman division. Chase Robertson looking for his second title in 3 seasons. Everybody else looking for one more trip to Carolina Woodfloor's Victory Lane. I'm James Pike. He's Matthew Dillner. I don't know if we actually introduced ourselves at the top of the show, but just in case.
Well, hey, I'm Matthew, by the way.
Hi, Matthew. I'm James.
Matthew Dillner. Yes.
Nice to meet you, right?
Well, you know why? We're excited because it's championship night. You know, I've probably been to about 20 of these things. Oh, let's check this out. Okay, what I want to look at with this replay here of this wreck that we had is there was a wreck on both sides of the track. The first wreck happens way back behind this right now. I was thinking the yellow flag was out, so maybe Amber Lynn could get her spot back. If you look, I didn't see a
right
yellow
hand
flag.
side of the screen.
Yeah,
Waiting.
No, it would be the flagman up there, but it appears I don't see any yellow lights, and then the yellow flag comes out from the corner worker, which isn't the flag that we need to pay attention to. It's the lights and Randy Smith on the starter stand, but I don't think the yellow was out. So Amber Lynn doesn't get her spot back. Amber Lynn will rejoin the field in the rear.
Main point, though, as they were slowing down for the yellow, they were racing that hard.
Yes.
That they got into it with each other. And sometimes that happens at Bowman Gray as we have the 2 to go and the choose with the restart cone coming up here momentarily. Who is the first to go to the outside? Survey says...
Oh, Michael Adams.
Michael Adams.
Oh, from worst to first? Can he make it happen? He started scratch on this field, and now he gets an opportunity on the top side of Zach Orr to potentially win this race.
If only this were a fans challenge night, right?
Oh, jeez.
Lights off on the modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle. 6 laps left in the law offices of John Barrow Sportsman Division season. Chase Robertson going to restart 6th. Mitch Gales a little bit further up in the field. Here we go. Green flag out once again. Adams to the outside of Zach Orr. Tommy Neal is far up the field as he's been all night long. Slides it up the racetrack into Sterling Clemens a little bit to take over the 3rd spot. Now looking for 2nd underneath Adams. Can Adams get front? No. Here comes the Tiger in the inside.
Tiger Tommy Neal says, hey, I don't care about this championship right now. I care about race wins. 5 laps to go. He gets the 2nd spot, battling side by side with Adams down the east straightaway. It appears right now Chase Robertson has moved up to 7th.
Robertson in good position right now, doing everything he needs to do as trouble further back in the field.
Mitch Gales
goes around. Call 811 before you dig. Caution comes out once again.
Chris Taylor also involved in that one. Not the night that he hoped for. Not the night that he dreamed of. The DL Outfitters number 38 machine of Mitch Gales from nearby Thomasville, North Carolina. Home of years of coming here, but I brought my kid here today, and he was like, Daddy, this is my first time being at the finale. He was so excited about being at the finale, and he mentioned it to me. He's 9. He mentioned it to me over and over and over again, and it made me realize that, you know, this is a really important night for race fans here. You know, they have their favorites when they come here. They want to see certain people get championships. They want to see their favorites get crowned. Well, the lights are out on the modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle, and since we are under 5 laps to go, we go to single file for this restart. No choose cone. 3 laps to go. Chase Robertson restarting in 7th position. Right now, he would be your champion. Green flag is out for Zach Orr.
Clear by a car length. Tommy Neal's got some work to do. If he wants a shot at Zach Orr, he wants a shot at another Bowman Gray stitch checkered flag. Chase Robertson all by himself, pretty much on an island with no one near, as Orr comes back around to lead this field to the waning moments of this sportsman feature to round out the 2025 season.
Right now, Orr stretches his legs at the front of this field. Can the Tiger catch him?
Not much left to do. Zach Orr clear. Tommy Neal will have one more opportunity, and Chase Robertson one lap away from title number 2.
Well, for 2 weeks, he's tried to get win 26, and 2 weeks it's been denied in the tech shed. But now Zach Orr gets the win, and your champion of 2025 is the number 31 car, Chase Robertson, title number 2.
3 years of competition. Chase Robertson has finished first, second, and now first once again in the final point standings as Robertson wins another title in the law offices of John Barrow Sportsman Division. Chase Robertson, the champion of sportsman racing at Bowman Gray in 2025.
Orr's 26th career win ties him with Zach Clifton and Spider Kimmel for 9th on the sportsman wins list. But everybody now, even though Orr is your winner who will receive the checkered flag, the stadium right now is saluting the driver of the Jerry Hunt Supercenter East Coast Wings, Mike Herman Racing. Oh, number 31, doing the donuts on the back straightaway, entertaining the east side grandstands here in Winston-Salem's Treasure.
Chase Robertson burning it down in the infield here. And to think that they're going to play football here next week, just about with Winston-Salem State. They're going to turn this right around, and it becomes a football stadium.
He's got the steering wheel out.
Right. Meanwhile,
look at this burnout, folks, with the steering wheel out.
Zach Orr also is doing a burnout over in the south turn to celebrate his race victory as well.
That looked like some Kyle Larson stuff. Big shout out to S&P Lemonade Seth for bringing us some refreshments, lighting up the booth tonight. But look at this, lighting up the grandstands here. Enjoy is the driver, the number 31. He is your champion, and he is celebrating it in a big, big way right now on the front straightaway. Zach Orr, the winner. Let's go down trackside to Randy Pulliam. We're going to have excitement from a winner and excitement from your champion.
Chase Robertson, right after we get a word with Zach Orr. Climbing out of the cockpit, the winner for the 5th time this season, Zach Orr. Zach, let's turn around here as our folks are flow racing. Zach, interesting season, tumultuous season, 5th win of the season. Got to feel good.
Yeah, we went through a lot in the last few weeks. They tore this motor completely down this morning. They tagged it. We're legal. We come out here and win the race. Congratulations to Chase on his championship. We try to run as clean as we could. All I want to do is win this last race. This is my full-time retirement. I'm going to go race with my daughter now.
I know you couldn't do this without your sponsors. Give them a shout-out.
Man, I can't thank everybody come on board this year. Pulse Vodka, Quality Auto Glass Service, Kobe's Home Improvement, Cardinals Plumbing, my boys here, wherever he's at, Joe, CTC Realty. Amanda's been awesome to me. Everybody has come on board this year. I can't think of enough. Napa Auto Parts.
Congratulations, Zach. Chris Carter's going to get a word with the champion, but you're an award winner. Stay around. We got another award to give you. You can head over to the Carolina Wood Floors Winner's Circle to pick up a winner's trophy. Carolina Wood Floors, open your doors to beautiful floors at Carolina Wood Floors. Chris Carter, take it away with our sportsman champion, Chase Robertson.
Madhouse, I need you to make some noise for Chase Robertson. Chase, you had me a little nervous back there, man, but you did what you had to do to capture your 2nd championship. You had 5 wins this year, and you was abiding your time. I mean, but what's going through your mind with like 10 laps to go, and things kind of got a little sketchy there for a little bit?
Yeah, the plan for the race after we drew the pole was, just lead until somebody pressured us. And I knew Zach was going to be hungry for the win, and he had nothing to lose, so we might as well just let him go. And when other people got to me, we just let him go and just try to file in behind and just ride it out. And, man, this is a dream come true after the year that we had. We shouldn't have really raced that hard tonight. Wish we could have sat in the trailer, but it is what it is. We had a really good year, and I just got to thank all my guys, especially Dylan Ward Racing. He really helps me with this stuff, and I can't thank him enough. My parents, my crew guys, everybody who puts a hand into this thing. Got to thank my sponsors, Penn Crim, East Coast Wings, Jerry Hunt Super Center, Timothy Wellborn, Sammy Sliders, Ava Cupcakes, Davidson Steel, Wahlberg Grill and Pizzeria, Thornburg Construction, Swift Springs, DWR, Mike Herman Racing, Long Art Welding, Thermal Hills, Messer Media, just everybody who helps me.
What a moment. What a young man right there. A talented driver. Chase Robertson ties David Adams, Jason Brown, Gene Pack, Derek Stoltz, and Billy Wilder with his second sportsman title. And the family, the Wally heads. There's his father, Mike Robertson, one heck of a driver himself. The Robertson family is victorious. 2 times the champion for Chase Robertson. Congratulations to that team. We'll take a break on Flow Racing, and we'll be back with the Modifieds.
Fans, are you ready for 150 laps for the Browns Golf Club Modifieds? Let's meet and greet the starting lineup. For the Ag South third credit 150, they qualify for their starting positions. Starting 25th, a shotgun on the field. In the Browns Golf Club, Gordon Rainey and the Chevrolet out of zone 2. Number 77, Cleveland Susan Harwell. Rolling out 24, in the Chevrolet from Greensboro to number 3 of Andrew Hare. Starting 23rd, he's in the Surrey Chemical, Taylor Parks, Peterbilt Chevrolet out of Mount Airy. Number 99 of the Crab, William E. Smith. Starting 22nd, in the Old Bell Tyler Chevrolet out of Winston-Salem. Number 39 of Gerald Robinson Jr. Starting 21st, the Tobacco Ridge, clearing, grading and second. Eleanor Transmissions, Kennels at Southern Farm Chevrolet. On Walnut Cove, the number 9 of Kyle Southern. Starting 20th, in the Central Carolina seeding, Inspire Dental Care, Walkertown Auto Sales Chevrolet from Walkertown, the number 07 of Riley Neal. Rolling off 19, in the Central Cleaner 4. From Walk Cove, the number 11 of Corey Lovett. Rolling off 18, he's in the M&M Transport. Precision Built Spindle, Chevrolet out of Kernersdale, the number 44 of Daniel Beeson. Rolling off 17, he's in the Big Coffee. Local RE, BK Honor Chevrolet from Midway, the number 64 of Ethan Truel. Rolling on 16, into the Crossroads Body Shop. E-Metals, Brenda Site Services, Stella Towing Chevrolet, Adam Monroe, the 00 of Danny Probst. Starting 15, in the Choice Tire and Automotive, S&R Motor Company Ford, out of Mount Airy, the number 53 of John Smith. Starting 14, he's in the Black Sand Company, Lawn Crew, Parker.
Chrome horns, big tires, big headers. This is the original division of NASCAR. And tonight, for the 76th time, we will crown a champion in the modified premier division here at Bowman Gray Stadium. The crews are actually pushing their cars out, and it's been quite a season for the NASCAR Brad's Golf Cars Modified Division.
Chevrolet from Pop 10, the number 5 of Randy Butner. Rolling off the 11th in the Wagner Appliance.
We've got a chase. A chase is on.
Oh! Tiger's getting into Zach Orr. Zach Orr's got a flat.
Will it be the north turn dodge? Yes, it is. Ward gets into him. Myers sideways. Here comes Brandon Ward to win the Hayes Jewelers 200.
In one race, Mike Speeney had made contact with all three of the Myers family that races. Mike Speeney, he does not want Myers to get ahead of us. They get together. History between those two. Mike Speeney, he says, you got one coming.
Win 103 overall for the ace, Burt Myers, his 102nd career modified triumph.
Danny Bone will pick up his 19th career win here at Bowman Gray Stadium.
And now Tim Brown says, I've got the pen now, I've got the paper, and I'm the all-time greatest. The Rocket gets win 104 at the Madhouse.
Oh, it's been quite a season, and you see the two Goliaths of the modified division that week after week are rewriting the history book here at the famed quarter mile. On the inside there, the pole sitter, his 147th career pole, Tim Brown, the Rocket from Tobaccoville, North Carolina. To the outside, his arch rival, his arch nemesis, the ace in the black and white Pinnacle number 1. There is Brown's Rocket, and the Rocket is strapping inside of that beautiful chrome and day glow orange modified right now, set to do battle for this 150 lap Ag South Farm Credit 150 finale. The rivalries that make Bowman Gray Stadium are amazing, but these machines that they're strapping in are just as amazing. 600 horsepower rockets. I call them jet fighters in a gymnasium here, buddy, because modifieds around a tight bull ring are something to behold.
They are loud, they are mean, they are aggressive, they are powerful, they are everything you want in NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series racing. And it all happens at one of the most famous and still the most exciting of it all, Bowman Gray Stadium in downtown Winston-Salem, North Carolina, as the ace out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina. One of the greatest to ever do it here at Bowman Gray. Burt Myers gets strapped in one more time, looking for yet another victory in this Ag South Farm Credit 150. He's got a few of those in this race.
Can he tie another record? Can he tie Tim Brown for his 12th modified championship? Or will Brennan Ward, who is the points leader, maintain his points lead? He has been amazing this season. Burt Myers looked like he could do it, but he got in trouble there with Speeney. That really hurt him. But there is the Kevin Powell Motorsports, Speed Motorsports 104. That car has been the picture of consistency all season long. With only 3 finishes outside of the top 10, Brandon Ward, the great veteran, looking for his 2nd career title here at the Madhouse. And now the lights are flashing. He looks for that 2nd championship. Not many drivers can win titles here at Bowman Gray Stadium. Since the Junior Miller, Tim Brown, and Burt Myers era, I mean, it's been ridiculous. This century, the 21st century, the mod masters of the 21st century. Burt Myers, you see it right there, all of his titles. Brandon Ward and Danny Bone, besides Myers, Brown, and Miller, are the only ones to be able to do it. And that is amazing right there. The titles in this century, 10 for Burt Myers, 9 for Tim Brown, Junior Miller with 3 of his 6 in this century, and Danny Bone, 1. But can Brandon Ward add his name to that list for a 2nd time?
You know, I think it's fitting that you bring up the battles between Burt Myers and Mike Speeney in the second half of this season, because that has dominated headlines.
Yes.
And I went to go chat with Kevin Powell earlier today and just ask where his mindset was and how they sort of viewed this season. And he said something very poignant to me. KP said, you know, look, we learned a long time ago that the best way to put yourself in position to win championships is to not keep score. I feel like that's part of the reason why we're in the hunt for another championship tonight. Yes, you can run into people. Yes, you can make contact with others. But if you let it go, focus on your race, your battle, and just try and pick up as many points as you can and be consistent. At the end of the day, it's a large part of why we entered this evening and why Burt Myers is back 54 of Brandon Ward entering this Axel Farm Credit 150.
Well, let's give you the starting lineup for this race. Tim Brown on the pole, the Jerry Hunt Supercenter, number 83. To his outside, the Citrasafe, number 1 for the ace, Burt Myers.
Starting in third out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina, racing for Carolina Drilling. It's the working man, Jason Myers. And starting in fourth out of Newtown, Pennsylvania, racing the QRC HVAC and refrigeration, number 10, Mike Speeney.
Starting in fifth tonight, the Taylor Auto Parts, number 16, it's Chris Fleming. To the outside, the Brad's Golf Cars, number 75, for the great Lee Jeffries.
Starting in seventh, the 04 machine out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, racing for Crazy Kevin Powell. Chasing his second track title tonight is Brandon Ward. And starting in eighth, the 100 Lapper Master, the 57 machine out of Freehold, New Jersey, racing this evening for North American Construction, it's Danny Bone.
Starting ninth tonight in the Quality Roof Seamers, number 14, third generation driver, Trey Hutchins. To the outside, fourth generation driver, the Bryson Brothers Aerial Solutions, number 6, for Slate Myers.
Starting in 11th, the number 51 from Mount Olive, North Carolina, it's the Snowman. Racing for Wagner Appliance Services, it's Junior Snow. Starting in 12th, and the number 5 out of Poptown, North Carolina, for Yadkin Valley Aviation, it is Randy Butner.
Starting in lucky position number 13, a 3-time winner here. They call him Farmer Ted. He's the driver of the number 41 Z-Max machine. It's Bobby Meismer Jr. To the outside, the number 69, they call him Superman, the Black Santa Company car for John Holloman IV.
Starting in 15th, the number 53 out of Mount Airy, North Carolina, the Mayberry Bullet racing for S&R Motors, it's John Smith. And starting in 16th out of Monroe, North Carolina, racing for E-Metals, the Flying Taco, Danny Probst.
Starting 17th tonight, the comeback kid, the good rookie right there in the Big B Coffee Machine, the 64 for Ethan Truel. To the outside, the veteran, the number 44 Petty's Garage Machine for Daniel Beeson.
Starting at 19th, the number 11 out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina, racing this evening for Greg Butcher Trucking, it's the Flying Beret, Corey LeVay. And starting in 20th out of Walkertown, North Carolina, in the 07 racing for Garage Doors of the Triad, it's the Real Deal, Riley Neal.
21st tonight for the Tobacco Ridge, number 9 of Kyle Southern. To the outside, the Old Well Tavern, 39 for Gerald Robinson.
Starting in 23rd in the number 99 out of Mount Airy, North Carolina, racing for Williams Trucking, it's William Crab Smith. And starting in 24th in the number 3 machine, it's Andrew Hara out of Charlotte, North Carolina.
Starting scratch on the field, but she will complete the entire race tonight, is the driver of the Market USA number 77 machine. That will be the lovely Susan Harwell. It appears Zach Orr, we are getting reports from Bowman Gray Stadium officials, Zach Orr was disqualified from his win. Zach Orr disqualified from his win. That will be 3 weeks in a row. Folks, we're about to go green. As the Goliaths of this division headline the front row of this one. These are the drivers that live by the grace of God and 600 horsepower. The green flag is out. No, the yellow flag. Once again, deja vu all over again, Yogi Berra said. When these two guys are up front, they don't play nice, okay? This is cat and mouse games right here. Part 2. Let's see if they could do it this time. The championship finale. The Ag South Farm Credit 150 is on. Side by side into the south turn. Go the two greats.
Off go Tim Brown and Burt Myers. Two of the best to ever do it. Jason Myers looking underneath. Mike Speeney for third. But Tim Brown will show the way early here in this Ag South Farm Credit 150. Speeney to third. Jason Myers back to fourth. Contact further back there with Speeney.
Jason Myers got to the backside of Speeney. There's been no love lost between the Speeneys and the Myers this season. Now things settle out. The side-by-side battle is on with the 75 of Lee Jeffries to the outside of the 16 of Chris Fleming. Now here comes Danny Bone to the inside. Right after that, will Brandon Ward fill the hole? He does in the north turn.
Brandon Ward immediately getting some track position as he Trey Hutchins looking to the inside of Slate Myers. Junior Snow also in the mix back there. Meanwhile, contact towards the front of the field as Burt Myers is beginning to ramp the pressure up on Tim Brown for the race lead.
Tim Brown is your race leader. 147th pole. Right behind him is Burt Myers. To the backside of Myers, though, these are 3 cars that have been in the hunt all season long. But this is the top 3 that the fans salivate the most out of. Why? Because of one word, rivalry. The season-long rivalry between Speeny and Myers, but the career-long rivalry between Tim Brown and the orange bumper of Burt Myers.
This is the battle of battles here at Bowman Gray Stadium.
Yes.
If you're watching on the NASCAR channel for the first time tonight, if you've never seen racing at Bowman Gray Stadium, these two at the front of the field have 20-plus track championships between them, and it does not matter who your favorite driver is in this stadium. You know, on some level, in some way, you fall on some side of the Myers versus Brown divide, and every single person has some sort of feeling about one of these two in these stands. All 16,000 plus, they're either Team Myers or Team Brown some way or another. It's part of the reason why everybody is watching very intently is how this goes. You'll see some sort of reaction if Burt can make the pass.
You can't like the Yankees, you can't like the Red Sox at the same time. That's it right there. You can't like Duke, you can't like Carolina too. You're either a Myers person or you're a Tim Brown person. When they're born here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, I think it's on their birth certificate.
It's the same thing. I'll give a nod to PR and comms here at the track, Justin Bradley. It's not Ohio State versus Michigan, or as he would say, that team up north. If you're watching from the Midwest and you have allegiances there,
hey, easy now.
If you're way out west, it's UC or USC versus UCLA. It's that kind of rivalry between these two, right?
Yeah,
Texas A&M.
The fans are the ones that really fuel that, okay? You know, these drivers have fueled it with some of the incidents that they've had, well-noted ones, on the track and the words off of it. But in recent years, at times, it has been calm. But for the fans, it is not. 12 laps into this one, Brown leads Myers. Speeny in 3rd position as they work around the lap vehicle of Crab Smith. 4th position for Jason Myers. A hard-charging Chris Fleming is in 5th.
Work there for some of the drivers just behind Myers and Brown here as they go around the lap machine of Crab Smith. But Burt Myers and Tim Brown are ahead of Speedy. They've opened it up to maybe about 6 or 7 car lengths. Meanwhile, there is your points leader entering the evening, Brandon Ward, in the 104.1 machine, if we're being technical about it, currently running in the 7th position.
Tim Brown, your leader, 136 laps to go in the Ag South Farm Credit 150 season finale. Double file restarts, choose cone. Exciting racing here tonight for the modified division.
Worth noting here as we work our way around Bowman Gray Stadium, Burt Myers has led 870 laps all time in his career in this Ag South Farm Credit 150. Tim Brown has led 791 laps in this race in his career. That's 1st and 2nd all time. So while we're watching these two leaders, let's hear Tim Brown's outlook on what he expects and what he hopes for out of tonight's Ag South Farm Credit 150.
Well, this year's really easy, right? As far back as I am in the points, there's no pressure on me. You know, we've got our car running really good right now, and you know, we're just going to try to sit on the pole and win the race. And if Burt and Brandon wind up having like detrimental nights, then we could benefit from it.
Gerald Robinson Jr. has spun his Olwell Tavern number 39, coming off the 4th turn to bring out our first caution flag of the night in the modified 150 at Bowman Gray Stadium. I think we're going to have a quickie caution, it appears. So the next time around, we'll likely bring out the choose cone, and the choose cone is everything in this race. Folks, if you're watching for the first time, it is everything. Track position is hard to come by with these 600 horsepower modifieds, but you give somebody maybe in 4th or 6th or 10th an ability to take a risk, because starting on the outside here in a modified is an absolute bona fide risk. But hey, if you want something bad enough, you'll go up and take it. That creates drama. That creates contention. That creates side-by-side racing that is unparalleled to anything in America. There's a lot of great racing around this country, folks, but there's nothing like the Madhouse.
Here's a look at what happened to Gerald Robinson Jr. Couldn't tell if he got help, but he definitely was a little bit loose on the exit of the north turn. Sputtered into the grass, had to stop and gather himself to get going, and that is why we are under our first call, 811, before you dig caution of this 2025 Ag South Farm Credit 150 at historic Bowman Gray Stadium. We are right in the heart of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. We're about maybe a mile removed physically from the center of downtown. This is a city that has a long-standing connection with auto racing, home to some of the brightest marketing minds and longest-standing partners NASCAR has ever had here, and now that partnership continues in a new form with NASCAR's pickup and purchase of Bowman Gray Stadium Racing.
And some great traditions also around this place, and one of them is the Myers family. We haven't talked that much about this driver right here, the driver, the number 4. As the cone comes out, he takes the outside behind his brother, Burt Myers, but the working man, Jason Myers, trying to get his second win of the season, a 58-time winner here. 16 of those wins coming in street stocks, but 42 of them in this division, the modifieds. The Myers family, one of the great families, now a 4th-generation racing family here at Bowman Gray Stadium.
Worth noting here that the driver restarting in the 3rd spot is Mike Spini. We know what kind of history he has had with the Myers family throughout this 2025 season. What's the next chapter of that going to look like as we go back to green flag racing? Any contact there right off the restart? Maybe a little bit in the middle of the south turn. Tim Brown starting to get away ever so slightly.
Oh, look at Chris Fleming.
Control 3rd. How about Chris Fleming, the showstopper who won the Madhouse Classic during Clash Weekend in February, trying to get 4th?
Chris Fleming in the 4th position right now, muscling his way on the bottom underneath Jason Myers' machine. Give him the 4th spot. The driver from Mount Airy, North Carolina, charging hard in this one. Now Danny Bone behind that, side by side with Myers on the inside. The New Jersey native, a 3rd-generation driver of his own.
Danny Bone, winner of 19,100 lappers, trying to get the 150 as we get another call, 811 before you did caution. Is Charlotte, North Carolina's Andrew Hara is stuck and stopped in the middle of the south turn.
These restarts are exciting. I'll tell you what, you talk about Spini and Myers, right? Spini was clean there. He really let the number 1 get to the bottom. He could have pushed that issue a little bit more, but it would have led to some form of contact, which could have ruined his night. All-time wins list, by the way, for this event, the 150 here. Burt Myers has 5 wins in this race. Tim Brown tied with him with 5. So this is another battle within a battle for supremacy in the modified record books. Burt and Tim may not realize it right now, but there are so many records kept here to see which one is better. Jason Myers with 2 wins, Brandon Ward with 3 in this 150. But, we always say the record books are open, and they're constantly being written here.
Speaking of Burt Myers, he had some thoughts ahead of tonight's Ag South Farm Credit 150. Let's hear what he had to say.
The goal is to set on the pole and win the race, and then the points can just fall where they fall. But being behind a little bit, it takes a little bit of the pressure off. When you're leading, there's a little bit more pressure because you don't want to beat yourself. So if we can go out and sit on the pole and win the race and don't win the points, this wasn't meant to be.
So Burt didn't quite get the pole. That went to Tim Brown. But for not getting the pole, had about as good a race as you can have so far. With just over 25 laps complete in this Ag South Farm Credit 150, he's run in 2nd for the vast majority of this race, if not all of it, as the choose cone will come out, and we'll come to 2 laps before our next restart.
Can I come clean here and say I had to do that interview, and I had to ask him, as a fair journalist, about what happens if you and Spini are around each other. And he eloquently and politely said, "You're not going to bait me into that one." And I loved it. I love that brutal honesty of Burt Myers. I'm not afraid to ask the question. He's not afraid to be honest with me. And he's about done with that talk. He's about done with all the playfulness about it. There's been billboards on Route 52 about it. There's been headlines. There's been videos that have darn nearly gone viral. Now it matters about one thing. The driver's gripping the steering wheel and coming to the green flag here. 29 laps, now 30 laps. Click on the scoreboard.
Burt is thinking about it. Spini is too. Here's the fun thing, though. The strong in the drink, Chris Fleming, you're pointing him out. He doesn't care about what those two are doing. He cares about trying to go after Tim Brown for the race lead. He's stuck on the outside, though, of Spini, as Danny Bone has worked his way steadily through this field. And Bone started this race in 8th. He's up to 5th, looking for fourth if he can get to the inside of Fleming. Single file, though. First side-by-side battle. Brandon Ward able to clear Jeffries a little bit further back.
Brandon Ward was just side-by-side with Jeffries, and boy, that was a little dramatic right there. And Jeffries slipping back there, got in a little bit of trouble. But Brandon Ward now sitting in the 7th position. Right now, he would be your champion. Brandon Ward has to finish 14th or better, no matter what happens tonight, to secure his 2nd championship.
Meanwhile, not much distance created between Brown or Myers yet again, and Speedy is just sitting there. Myers' car looks a little bit better down the straightaway than anybody else in the top 5, but it's marginal at this point. But I think one of the bigger points we haven't had the chance to touch on yet, something we need to keep in the back of our minds, as should you all watching wherever you may be, is that these drivers have cars and have things that they are saving within them that they might not necessarily showcase until we get to the final 50 or 25 or 15 or 10 laps. We know these cars up front are strong, but I don't think any of us know how strong they are, except for the drivers in front themselves, as Burt Myers puts the Nerf bar and then some to Tim Brown's rear bumper.
Oh, man, you've heard Marty Robbins singing about Big Iron, right? That was some Big Iron flexing there in the north turn from the famed orange bumper of Burt Myers to the back I-beam of the number 83, Tim Brown. Brown was playing defense. As soon as he got the contact in the center of the turn, he kind of slowed up his exit of the corner. That's bull ring battling and bull ring brawling right there, and that is a veteran move to do so.
What a privilege that we are alive at the same time as Tim Brown and Burt Myers to be able to witness this battle in the way that these fans react to it. I think it's the biggest thing. You can look all around the bowl here at Bowman Gray, and you can see fans cheering. You can see fans clapping. You can see fans maybe not so happy with the way things are playing out so far. But again, a lot can change over the course of the next 110 laps. 40 on the board, 110 to go here in this Ag South Farm Credit 150.
You might see single file racing around here and say, no, just wait. Just be on the edge of your seat here, because you're going to see some bumping and some grinding. And when the opportunity comes where somebody can maybe get a little physical to maybe move somebody up a little bit of a groove, everything happens. Okay, and you don't know whether it's going to happen next lap or if it's going to happen on lap 140. With these double file restarts too, anything can happen as well. Myers now peeking to the inside. That's because they're going around the Crab Smith number 99 Taylor Auto Parts Williams trucking machine. Crab on the throttle there a little bit, coming out of the turn, racing alongside the number 83. All the leaders get by clean and green. Now the battle ensues up front. The next lap vehicle that they would get to is pretty far away now, and that would be Susan Harwell all over the backside of Gerald Robinson Jr., but right now all eyes are on the front.
Tim Brown, Burt Myers, Mike Speedy, they've separated themselves from the next trio of Chris Fleming, Danny Bone, and Jason Myers. So you've got the first 3 together, you've got the next 6, and then the driver in 7th, right behind this group.
Yep.
Brandon Ward.
That's your points leader. Yep, that is your points leader. And right now, as it sits, the Kevin Powell Speed Motorsports 104 would be your champion if the race ended like it is right now. But hey, this is Bowman Gray. Anything can happen. We've seen championships come unraveled in the most unusual of ways.
Or ways, plural.
Speaking of coming unraveled, the night has come a little unraveled for the driver of the Tobacco Ridge, number 9. Kyle Southern is spun in the north turn. Great. I want to say one thing about this driver, okay? He and his family lost their home to a fire this year. We've talked about it a few times here on this broadcast, but his wife posting pictures of the framing of their house going up this week. And they had Bible verses on the framing that are going to be covered over by sheetrock and all this stuff. But what a wonderful story it's been within our season to see this family recover so nicely.
And a driver that's had speed. I think maybe not necessarily the success he wants, but the speed has been there, even with this car as well. And I think fantastic to see not just Kyle Southern be back out here, but sort of to your point, the way that the Bowman Gray community rallied behind and around Kyle to get him back on the racetrack when they lost so much in that fire. It's been great to see him back out here all season long.
And Justin Link and the guys working hard on that Tobacco Ridge number 9. He is going to go behind the field house for some repairs here. your leader, once again, Tim Brown. Points as they run. We mentioned that Brendan Ward is your points leader right now. He would be up by 34 unofficially as they run over Burt Myers.
Which also underscores how much of the points battle control is in Brandon Ward's hands. You've got Burt running in second. You've got Tim running in first. They're just about at max points, and still Brandon Ward is in good shape. 14th or better is what Brandon Ward needs to do and where he needs to finish in order to claim his second title in the last 3 seasons at Bowman Gray, just like Chase Robertson in the law offices of John Barrow Sportsman Division. So this is very much all in Brandon Ward's hands at the moment. But again, anything can change. We still have 2/3 of this race to go.
You know, I talked to Brandon Ward too, and, you know, I said this is a different scenario than you've ever had here before. You know, he is really in control of this one. And if he goes out there and they execute the way they did, the championship is theirs. But remember, folks, the night isn't over after this modified race. Trust me. As the double file cone restart comes out right now, the choose cone, Burt Myers goes to the outside. We've got street stocks and stadium stocks. And the street stock race that you're going to see up next is separated by 6 points. That's 2 positions. A wild night here for us at the stadium. But we're 52 laps into this 150 lapper. Deja vu all over again with the number 1 going to the top. He's not going to follow in the tire tracks of the 53 on these restarts. Oh, no, no, sir, he will not. We know the genetics of Burt Myers. He's going to put it to the top. Green flag is back out.
Myers tried to get to the inside, tried to find a hole. Mike Speedy was not going to let him have it. So here comes another chapter of Speedy versus the Myers family. But Kraft's just stuck in the middle of the racetrack, and they check up.
Almost trouble for your points leaders. He gets slammed in to the rear of the number 104 machine, but gets through it. Who does not is Lee Jeffries and Bobby Meismer Jr. They get caught in the stack up there. It was like an accordion effect going into the north turn when Kraft Smith's car was spun. Luckily, Brandon Ward's car got hit square. You could see that the 75 did not. The front of his number 75 is really torqued up bad, and you could see the left front, some damage on the Bobby Meismer machine, it appears. Look at the bumper on the 75.
I'll tell you what here, just an observation sort of off screen. Impressive that Junior Snow didn't get any damage to his I-beam because he was in the middle of that stack up too and somehow got out of it. Jeffries.
And I think Kyle Southern was involved too.
And Southern too, yes. Yes.
Kyle Southern was involved as well. Let's take a quick break on Flow Racing, and we'll come back as we get these cars separated on this 150 lapper, 54 laps in.
And let's not forget the Rocket, Tim Brown. He came into the evening third in the points. He's still mathematically alive. Tim Brown has to finish 4 positions ahead of Burt Myers and 17 positions ahead of Brandon Ward in order to take the title. Those are the 3 drivers. Those are the only drivers that are mathematically eligible for the points title in the 2025 season of the Brad's Golf Car Modifieds. With a flavorful, smooth finish, locally crafted in North Carolina, Red Oak, Bavarian, Amber Lagers, unfiltered, unpasteurized, and naturally carbonated.
do a great job because I had them design some shirts for my company. They do a great job. Visit the Velocity showroom at 7987 Old US Highway 52 in Lexington. Chris, we look over there going in to turn number 3 with Steely Jeffrey's car. He has just been snake bitten this year with this tough luck, particularly the latter part of the year.
Toys Tire and Automotive is a full-service auto repair shop and your #1 source for tires and wheels in Kernersville, North Carolina. They offer a variety of automotive services to keep your vehicle rolling: check engine light repair and diagnostics, oil changes, brake repairs, alignments, balancing, rotations, and general automotive repairs. Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. till 5 p.m. Give Toys Tire and Automotive a call at 336-992-9002 and let them take care of your tire and automotive service needs.
Choice Tire and Automotive of Kernersville. Good choice. A good choice if you want some tires. I went up there recently to get some tires on my truck, which was good until I hit a deer. So the truck's been...
Did my luck rub off on you?
I think so. I demolished a deer. I'm so sorry to deer lovers out there. But hey, there is the number 99 of Crab Smith being towed off. He dropped the window net immediately, so that was good news. But they did work on making sure he got out of it safely, and it appears that Crab is A-OK. We get the word from down there that he is. That's great. One of the great veterans of modified racing here and the beloved drivers in our pit area. Love sitting on the tailgate with him back by the Fleming pit. Of course, teammates with Chris Fleming, who sits 4th in this 150 lapper. Bobby Meismer Jr., we showed his wrecked race car. It appears there is no damage to the left front wheel of that 41. Lee Jeffries has entered the field as well at the rear of the field.
The biggest question on Jeffrey's car and Meismer's car is whether or not there was any sort of damage to the rear suspension of Jeffrey's car and then to that left front tire where Jeffries was sitting on top of Meismer. So we'll take a look and see what happened to Meismer there coming out. A little bit of contact there in the back, and then you see Harwell turn around. Crabsmith gets stuck there. One car rolling through the grass. That was Kyle Southern. You can see the damage on the right front suspension of Southern's machine. Likely put him out for the evening. So we lose a few modifieds from that incident. We'll have a little bit more action, though, to gain on the backside of this 57 laps complete in this 2025 Ag South Farm Credit 150.
Look at the crowd right there. I love that big tree over there in turn 4, too. I parked right underneath that tree. Look at this crowd. Great shot by Elgin Trailer there, showing the horseshoe. And this unbelievable crowd. I'd say about 16 to 17,000 people here on a Saturday night for the finale. Just makes my heart joyous to see a racetrack packed like this. I don't care where you are. I love auto racing, and all the fans here do as well.
This is a historic stadium for many reasons. Yep. The actual facility itself was part of the New Deal back in the 1930s, constructed in 1937, first NASCAR race here in 1949, and the newest elements here, the field house built in 2005, the press box that we stand in built in 2001, and the concession stands, which are not particularly old, sometime in the 2010s. My memory slips me on when exactly.
Oh, the new concessions?
Yes.
Actually, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Two or 3 years ago? Okay.
Yeah, the new bathrooms, too.
Yes.
Folks, if you've never been here, I remember there was a friend of mine that came here, Steve Halpin, that announces at Riverhead Raceway, and he said, my gosh, these are the cleanest and nicest bathrooms I've ever been to at a racetrack. Choose Cone is out. Myers to the top. Fleming to the top of the second row. Jason Myers to the top of the third row. Brandon Ward stays safely on the bottom of the fourth row, your points leader, with Trey Hutchins to the outside of him. Rookie Ethan Truel files in as the outside car behind Hutchins. Truel with a new power plant in his race car last week from Tony's. Likes the power on his car. Now, Myers, Brown, side by side to the green flag, 60 laps into the 150 lapper. They're side by side. Nerf bar to Nerf bar. Down the east straightaway they go. Brown, Myers.
It was not the best restart for Tim Brown. He was more sideways coming up through the gas than I think he would have liked to have been. But he manages to clear Burt Myers and take the lead anyway. Meanwhile, Chris Fleming looking to the outside of Mike Sweeney for the third spot. And he will take P3 from Sweeney in the north turn.
Man, he powered that 16 and forced his way down to the bottom in front of Sweeney. Sweeney didn't lay the iron on him, but he gives him a little shot coming out of turn number 2. First, second, third, and fourth. Some bumper tag going on. 5th position right now is Bone.
Here we go with the battle up front. You've got Brown, you've got Myers. Chris Fleming now trying to work his way into a top 2 position. And remember, he was the winner of the Cookout Madhouse Classic during NASCAR Clash weekend here in February. So what kind of year it would be for him to start the season with a win at Bowman Gray and end it with a win at Bowman Gray on this Ag South Farm Credit 150.
And he's like Mr. Fans Challenge now.
Yeah.
He is Chris Fleming. Chris Fleming, who said that he is pretty much done with full-time racing here at Bowman Gray Stadium, but expect him here, I would say, for the big races like this one. Now Myers applying some more pressure to the backside of the 83. Another shot in the north turn from Myers. That Jerry Hunt Super Center Hayes Jewelers 83 looking pretty under the lights. Glistening chrome on the Nerf bars. That car is handling awful pretty right now as well, but Myers is showing some speed right behind.
Myers has had all kinds of speed throughout this race. The question is, when does he decide to use it and press the issue and try and pass or move Tim Brown out the racetrack to take over the lead? Doesn't need to do anything crazy yet. Again, you've still got just under 100 laps to go in this race. Plenty of time to make a move for the race lead. And if you're looking for a driver who's seen every sort of strategy trick played in the book and knows how to do it and how to get it done, you don't have just one of them on the front of the field. You have 2, because Tim Brown and Burt Myers are just about equally as experienced.
This is where you take a little bit of a breath during a 150 lapper. If you're in the stands, you might wiggle your toes and stretch your feet. You might reach down in your cooler and grab an S&P lemonade, you know, whatever. But, you know, but right now, this is the that point of a 150 lap race where you just relax a little bit and see what happens. You know, the drivers are, you mentioned it, kind of patiently seeing what happens, you know, with their race cars, if they will get better, get worse. Right now, the top 2 are stretching out their lead over Fleming and the 10 of Sweeney.
Well, here's the thing. There's our version of relaxing, and in theory, compared to what they normally do, I guess maybe these drivers are relaxing, but let's not get it twisted. It is not relaxing to wrestle 3,000 pounds of machinery around a quarter-mile racetrack without any banking, Matthew Dillner. It is pretty much 24/7 craziness as we get a call. 811 before you get a caution. Jason Myers is slow on the back straightaway.
Myers, number 4, is slow halfway into the Ag South Farm Credit 150, and trouble for the driver of the Advantage Machinery Services, number 4. K&W Locksmith, a new sponsor this year on that car as well. Panda, Michael Branch, all the boys working on that car have been putting in heart and soul. They had some engine issues the other week. They have been valiantly trying to get that 4 up front for another win and putting forth a great effort. And tonight, they will get pushed off behind the field house.
Jason Myers going back to the working area. Everybody else getting a moment to catch their breath. We have just cleared halfway now. So mentally, driver, crew, no matter who you are, you shift into sort of a new mode. And even then, we don't particularly have too many races that jump past the 75 lap mark. It's only your 100 lappers this race and the Hayes Jewelers 200 to start off the year. But the halfway piece, definitely, I think, something to consider and think about. I saw Randy Butner, looks like John Holloman, going to the work area as well.
Hey, look at that little girl. She's got the moves. She's dancing. She's excited for a Saturday night here at Bowman Gray Stadium. Man, they got a lot of better moves than me.
Better moves than any of us, let's be fair, right?
Look at that. Like, she had the little pizzazz work in there. We got a little light flicker in there. At first I thought it was an S&P lemonade cup because Seth brought the lemonade cups up here, and they're flashing. I'd like to also say there is Little Donuts, of
Your
course.
favorite, right?
My favorite, but I also have to give a shout-out to S&P because last week they raised so much money. You know, we said for Robbie Brewer, but really it was for Victory Junction in the name of Robbie Brewer and their family. So Seth and S&P Lemonade doing a great thing in the wake of tragedy here. Robbie Brewer losing him, but for his family and for everybody, a great donation made. Not just selling cups to light up the stands here and do something really cool, but giving back. And that's what we love to do here at the stadium. Double file restart here. Of course, Myers goes to the outside. This time, Fleming is on the inside with the Bulldog, the great disruptor of racing this year at Bowman Gray Stadium, Mike Speeney on the outside behind Burt Myers.
Let's make a point of the driver in third on the outside too. Trey Hutchins, we haven't called his name that much tonight, but consistently been in the top 10 in a good spot as the modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle pulls off. Here we go. Green flag racing, lap 78. Tim Brown with a great jump on the restart. Fleming makes contact with Burt Myers, sends him up the racetrack. They touch wheels. Burt with a great run down the backstretch. Fleming still to the inside. Myers up the racetrack. Still no settle for the battle, and now Burt gets the drive out the corner and finally gets back to second place. So there goes Burt Myers, and a little bit of a gap with the top five. They have separated themselves from Trey Hutchins. Junior Snow tucked in behind. Brandon Ward in seventh currently. And again, all Brandon Ward needs to do is finish 14th or better to claim his second Bowman Gray Stadium track title. And the call 811 before you did caution is out. John Holloman was slow on the front straightaway.
Holloman with trouble going behind the field house just before this latest restart, and now trouble again for Heat. The Black Sand Company, number 69, a winner this year at Bowman Gray Stadium.
All kinds of craziness here as Holloman continues to work his way around Bowman Gray Stadium. And as Holloman sorts himself out, Brandon Ward been the third piece of the battle all night long. And as we get a good look at that Q104.1 modified, let's hear what Brandon Ward had to say in advance of tonight's XL Foreign Credit 150.
I try to approach every race the same, whether it's in the shop during the week preparing for it, or whether it's on race day coming into that particular event. I feel like our success has been from approaching every event the same. And that's what we'll do that final night. We'll approach that race as a race that we have to have a car that can contend for a win, and then we just have to use our head.
I'll make a point to you, Matthew Dillner, just thinking about it here, having been here every single week, just about. How many times can you think of a night or a week in which Brandon Ward was into some form of altercation with somebody, just in general?
I haven't seen anyone except for the opener with Burt Myers, but he ended up finishing first in the Hayes Jewelers 200, and then they had a little bit of, a get-together later on in the year, but he finished second. So no real dust-ups. No, I mean, that is just great point.
And that's part of it. Now, I go back to what Kevin Powell told me earlier today about, just not putting yourself in positions where you get into it with people, not keeping score with anybody else, not trying to run a ledger up, just racing each race and racing everybody as if they are no different than anybody else. And to the point that Brandon Ward made in that video, it's a large part of the reason why they are on the precipice of title number 2. Now, he's lost a few spots on the last few restarts, but again, your points racing, if you're Brandon Ward, you don't necessarily have to worry about going for the win. You'd like to do it, but the championship is the bigger picture thing, and the most important thing for Brandon Ward, just do not get into any sort of trouble where you incur some sort of damage, put yourself in a position to potentially lose the championship fight.
That's a great point. The modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle dips into the end zone. Both drivers fire at the same time. A little bit of contact down the front straightaway between Brown on the inside, Myers to the outside. Myers fights hard down the east straightaway. Here he comes. The preferred spot is the bottom. Brown is your leader down the stretch.
How much does Burt Myers want to fight to take that outside line? Does he really want to keep it? Not all that much. Not enough to hang out there. He'll slide back into second on the inside.
Look at
Chris
Bone.
Fleming and Danny Bone all over each other for the third spot. Oh, and the fence goes Danny Bone. Did he pick up that much damage on the right front? Something to watch for these next few laps. He starts to lose some drag position. Fleming takes third. Sweeney takes fourth. Junior Snow tried to take fifth, but Bone cut down in front of him.
Wow, a hairy moment for Danny Bone as he made significant contact to the outside wall. Now the battle is back on at the front. Burt Myers, just when we think it's not, he lays the iron to the back of the number 83 once again. There he is, Junior Snows, 51. Trey Hutchins, the third-generation driver, the number 14. Now the battle's back on up front. We've seen this so many times before. 83 v1. 83 v1. Once again, with 60, now 59 laps to go. That is the story for us here at Bowman Gray.
Bumper tag between the front two maybe once again. Fleming and Speedy beginning to tighten up one more time. Bone a little bit by himself. Carr doesn't particularly look all that wounded after the contact with the wall on the front straightaway. And we're noting, and this is a point that you made over the course of the season here, when they replaced the old guardrail that had been in place since the 60s with these safer barriers for the clash at the beginning of this season, the safer barriers are a little bit firmer. They've got less give, and it can damage these modifieds a lot more than the guardrail would have from last year or in previous years past, as Myers and Brown have stretched it out to maybe 4 or 5 car lengths over Speedy and the rest of this field.
You know, that's a good point, though. I mean, the flex is gone. You hit that wall, and it'll do damage. You know, you think with the safer barrier, well, those safer barriers are designed for high-impact collisions. But coming off the corner like that, you hit it, and it is solid. It does not flex like the old walls used to. Coming to lap 96 now, ticking on the board, and there is a hot battle on the track between Fleming's number 16 Jerry Hunt Supercenters machine and the number 57 North American Construction ride. You saw the contact when Bone was to the outside of Fleming into that wall. Now Fleming is back to the back side of the number 16.
The Junior Snow just behind them, waiting to see if they get into it. No, call 811 before you caution out one more time.
Brandon Ward in 9th position right now. Brandon Ward in the 9th position. He would be the champion if it ended right now. Would Brandon Ward, who needs to finish 14th or better, regardless of what Burt Myers does. Myers has to finish 14 ahead of Brandon Ward, of course, and Tim Brown would have to get some magic as well, finishing 4 ahead of Myers and 17 ahead of Brandon Ward, so it looks almost impossible for him right now. There it is. As they run, the unofficial standings would see Burt Myers 26 points behind Brandon Ward, that white car on your screen.
Breathing room, though.
Breathing room.
That's the big thing. You've got room. Just don't get in a wreck. Don't put yourself in a spot where you have to go back to the work area to get your car fixed up. That is the only thing right now that could throw this championship into jeopardy for Brandon Ward as it stands. And yes, that seems easy in principle, but trouble can find you anywhere here at Bowman Gray, tight as this track is.
You know, you talked about it before, the consistency that they have, okay? You look right there, Burt Myers, okay? Burt Myers got into some trouble. You talked about Brandon didn't. Burt Myers has had 7 finishes outside of the top 10. Brandon Ward has only had 3. That's the big difference. An average finish of 4.82 for Ward. Average finish for Myers, 6.82. That's the difference.
Consistency.
Same.
And I hate to sound like a broken record. I hate to make the point over and over again.
If it's a good record, I'm good with it.
You have a favorite? I would say.
I love vinyl.
Do you have a favorite record of choice?
Honestly, I don't know if I do.
Not like one.
Oh, the cone fell down, but the cone is back up, and we go to the double file traffic safety control services double file restart.
Fleming to the outside, Snow to the outside, Slate
Bone
Myers
to the inside.
outside.
That could be interesting.
Riley Neal up top. We've cleared lap 100, by the way, so we're 2/3 of the way through this Ag South Farm Credit 150.
Junior Snow, the King, North Carolina driver on the top with Slate Myers right behind him. And right behind Slate Myers, you saw last week, Slate Myers and Riley Neal getting together. The 6 and the 07, watch it, folks, are lined up nose to tail in the mid-pack of this battle. Right near your points leader, Brandon Ward. Green flag is out. Myers files down to the bottom. The first battle on the track will be Speeney and the 16. A big stack up coming out of turn number 2. Bone lays the bumper to the number 10 going into the north turn.
The New Jersey and Pennsylvania natives there playing bumper tag with each other. Oh, Chris Fleming got right into the back of Danny Bone there. Entrance to turn 1. Stacked everybody else up behind him. Trey Hutchins losing a few spots there in the midst of all that melee. And single file throughout maybe the first 9 or 10 cars as we get back to it. Brandon Ward trying to find a spot underneath Trey Hutchins. Shot to the bumper there. Hutchins moves out the racetrack. Brandon Ward with some contact there. John Smith was there. And here comes Daniel Beeson to the inside of the points leader.
Wow, some tough moments and now contact. The points leader gets shuffled up by Daniel Beeson. Wow, some tense moments for your points leader, Brandon Ward, there through the north turn. He settles in now. Single file. 10th position for Brandon Ward. No live timing scoring here, so we got to use our digits here while we're talking to count. You see the screen on the top there. They're actually typing that right behind us because there's no electronic timing and scoring. These races here at Bowman Gray, it's old school timing, scored by hand in the booth to the left of us. It's amazing because I'm watching them write down numbers each lap at a feverish pace.
Those pencils are going crazy in the scoring booth here at Bowman Gray. Meanwhile, not too much craziness up front as the top 3 are working together, and crazy Kevin Powell's driver, Brandon Ward, at the back of this line, but with some breathing room. He'll take it, I think, running in the 10 spots still, but starting to run down Trey Hutchins. He made contact with Hutchins about 5 or 6 laps ago. Now that they've spread out, everybody's trying to click off laps here as they approach lap 110. 40 laps to go in the Ag South Farm Credit 150.
Burt Myers now putting a little shot to the back of Tim Brown's machine. Now closing in closer is Mike Speeney in that QRC HVAC number 10. 3-car breakaway at the front of this field. 111 laps down in this 150-lap race. 3rd place Speedy, 4th place Bone, 5th place Fleming, 6th place the Snowman, Junior Snow, 7th place Slate Myers, 8th place Riley Neal, 9th place to Trey Hutchins, and 10th to your points leader, Brandon Ward.
Brandon Ward will not mind being all by himself one bit. I think Burt Myers might mind being a little bit away from the race, but here's a good look at Brandon Ward resuming the battle with Trey Hutchins. He's managed to reel Hutchins in a bit. Question is, how much does Ward use his bumper to try and make the move? Coming to 35 laps to go in the season for the Brad's Golf Cars Modifieds, the 76th season of racing at Bowman Gray Stadium. And this is the original division of racing at the Madhouse in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
The original division in racing and NASCAR as well. That's something that a lot of people don't realize, that NASCAR did start with the modified division, and then of course the strictly stocks came. And hey, speaking of who's coming to the front right now, look at Brandon Ward getting by 3rd-generation driver Trey Hutchins. Hutchins gives him the spot, and now the battle is on through lap traffic with the number 83 of Brown, the Rocket from Tobaccoville, North Carolina. Big shot across the bow from Burt Myers. That orange bumper is starting to show the signs of contact here at the Madhouse. It's pushed in. Is it pushed in too much? Not yet. But how much will it get pushed in the closing laps? Yellow flag is out.
Call 811 before you did caution. Back out one more time at the Madhouse Modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle. We'll pick up the field on the back straightaway as Jimmy Absher's got that machine rolling. Tim Brown crawled to the rear of our Pace vehicle. We'll roll through another call 811 before you did caution, Matthew Dillner.
You love that. You love that sponsor, don't you? I love it. It is one of the cool sponsors. Text from Marjorie. Oh, come on, Matthew. What's your favorite vinyl? I mean, you know, I don't know. I actually bought Diver Down recently by Van Halen. I think that's a really good one. Underrated Van Halen album.
Worth noting that that's not actually a text from Marjorie. That's a text from Lily, the family dog.
Dogs don't text.
Yes, they do.
Cut it out.
No,
Marjorie, come on.
You
Those little paws aren't working on that iPhone. Give me a break.
They do, actually. They work off electric currents. We have electric currents in our fingers.
Text from Marjorie, by the way, if
that's
you're
what
new
it
to
says,
us.
yes.
I'm up here. My mom never texts me during the race, so Pike is very lucky. His mother is constantly texting us little tidbits and little fun anecdotes throughout the race, so we call it Text from Marjorie. I actually like it. It's one of my favorite things of the night, besides little donuts and lemonade. Ethan Truel, the rookie, is pulling up alongside the pace car right now. Ethan Truel, the Big B Coffee local RE machine, is pulling up to go into the pit area.
So, Big B goes up, Brown goes rolling. We're waiting to see what happens beyond all this. Keeping an eye forward, here is Tim Brown, and then Burt Myers, and then Mike Speedy. One more opportunity for this chapter to ensue, and one more shot here. I wonder what the final act of Speedy versus Myers for 2025 is going to be.
Will there be a final act?
Maybe not.
I mean, eventually there will be. Will it be tonight, though, is the question. Hey, here's the great mystery in life. One never knows, does one?
Perhaps.
Okay, Cake.
No. If we're doing that, the sun has gone down and the moon has gone up, and at some point, somebody tonight is going to leave. In fact, with the cup. Right now, that would be Brandon Ward.
Yes, it would.
However, that can change.
That can. I like Cake, by the way. I don't have any Cake on vinyl, by the way.
You should fix that.
Yep, we talked about the front bumper on the one car. The front bumper's a little bit mashed up on the 104. Choose cone is out. Of course, Tim Brown will choose the bottom for this lap 122 restart. Myers to the top. Speedy to the bottom. Bone to the top. Fleming to the bottom. The Snowman to the top. And now the sophomore battle is on in the next row between the 6 car and the 07, who the gloves came off last week. And you want to talk about an unhappy driver. Riley Neal is not happy with Slate Myers in that 4th row. Something to keep an eye on is that battle.
And worth noting, those two are going to be battling at the stadium, I think, for a long time. So they'll have to get used to that at some point. Burt Myers is not going to get a restart, though, that time around. Sends it all to the outside. Big drive there. There was an opportunity for Speedy to get underneath him, but Speedy didn't get a great drive through this out turn either. So he has to check into 3rd. Danny Bone to 4th. Junior Snow on the outside there. Chris Fleming trying to get the fist bump. Contact between those two. A little bit more contact to the south turn.
Yeah, things are getting dicey there. The Snowman on the outside. He files in. Now the first side-by-side battle is Brandon Ward on the backside of the 6, and Riley Neal to his outside. Neal chops down to the bottom, right in front of Daniel Beeson. A tough move there for Beeson, but he hangs on.
Beeson still there. Oh, contact with Trey Hutchins. Hutchins is going to go around in the corner, and the call 811 before you did caution will come out once again on lap 126 of this 2025 Ag South Farm Credit 150.
Hutchins was having a great night. This is one of the best days for the 14 all year long. He hasn't been competing here full time. And the quality seamless gutter machine has had a lot of drive off the corner. They worked on that this morning. They had some ignition troubles as well this morning. And the best that I've seen Trey Hutchins run tonight, this year, for sure. Okay, let's toss to a quick break. We'll be back. We are back at Bowman Gray Stadium, and my director just got on the headset and started counting down. And I, like lightning, finished off my Little Donut. You know, Little Donut's one of the best concession foods here at Bowman Gray Stadium. Fired up Facebook. All these fans here in the grandstands enjoying this race, enjoying all the concession food and the atmosphere here. Great place to bring your family on a Saturday night. Speaking of family, the family sitting right below the tower is the Myers family. They've been sitting there as long as they've been here. This family has raced here since the stadium's inception, for NASCAR racing, that is, in 1949. This is the fourth generation driver, Slate Myers. Embroiled in a little bit of controversy over the last 2 weeks. Contact with Randy Butner. Then last week, some contact at the front of the field going for the win with Riley Neal. Double file choose cone is out. Myers to the top once again. Bone to the top of the second row. Snowman, a repeat of the last one. Junior Snow goes to the outside. In the third row, Riley Neal once again side by side with Slate Myers in the fourth row. If anything happens there, folks, it's right in front of your points leader, Brennan Ward. Keep an eye out. Coming to lap 131 in the Ag South Farm Credit 150. Myers sideways there. Bad traction. It goes for the number one. Now can he get to the bottom? Here comes Speeney to the inside, but Myers powers his way down to the bottom.
Shot there from Speeney up the racetrack. Here we go. Another chapter of Speeney versus Myers, potentially the offing. Junior Snow, though, spins in the infield. Dirt tracks it through the middle of the racetrack, and the call 811 before you take caution comes out. And Junior Snow never came to a stop officially. Slid through the racetrack. So I feel for the scores because they're going to have fun trying to figure out where Junior Snow is going to land in the restart.
He brought out the caution, so he goes to the rear of the field by the book of law. But Tokyo Drift meet Winston-Salem, North Carolina on that one, for crumb's sakes. Did you see that right there going through the grass, folks?
Impressive.
That was wild.
Impressive for him to never lose control of it. Also, a fun pair of facts from our man Justin Mincy. This 150-lap race for the Brad's Golf Cars Modifieds is the 1,554th career modified races. We take a look at the replay. We see the contact there. I think that was Trey Hutchins who got into Junior Snow. Slate Myers, rather. Slate Myers. And then, again, drifting, and saved it.
What a job right there.
And this also, the 36th edition of the Ag South Forum Credit 150, that this is an individual race, dates back to 1988.
Well, let's note we just showed the 6 car right before that green flag, and that contact also knocked the 6 car back further in the field. So Slate Myers will now be towards the rear of this field as well. Junior Snow trying to get his spot back, it appears. I don't know. They might be giving it to him due to that contact, we're being told.
Again, he never stopped.
I don't know.
He never stopped.
But the caution was out for him, so that's a tough one for the King North Carolina driver. I know he wants his spot at the front of this field.
And again, why I said I feel for the scorers, because that's you have to go down deep into the rule book to figure out what the correct ruling is going to be. Because normally,
well, if you bring out the caution, that's what it
is. Or if you stop.
Yeah, but he didn't blend and stop in his position.
Right. I see your line of logic.
Yeah.
But that's what they have to check too as well, right? So I can see the team over there working, trying to figure out where Junior Snow is supposed to be scored, and once we figure out where Junior Snow
it's unfortunate is going to be scored, though. I mean, because, it didn't look like it was, accidents happen, okay? 2 drivers get together. He slides through the infield grass. If I were him, I would want my spot back, too, because maybe I feel like I was possibly wronged. I'd be fighting for it, too, but now he goes behind the field house, so Junior Snow will be in the rear of the field if and when he rejoins. So tough for Junior Snow, who had worked his way all the way up to the 5th or 6th spot. That King North Carolina driver, the Wagner Appliances machine, a former baseball player, and one of the young stars, up-and-coming stars here at Bowman Gray Stadium.
One of the better logos on a pit box of any team here at Bowman Gray Stadium. It's a snowman speeding with wheels sort of on the bottom.
It is so cool.
It makes, you get a last name like that, you make a joke out of it, make a play off of it. And
he's got a great nickname, man.
Right, the Snowman.
The Snowman. That is just awesome. There is Junior Snow rejoining the field. Yeah, folks, if you come here early to Bowman Gray Stadium, you can go walking through the pit area before 5 o'clock. And meet Junior Snow, his family run team. His uncle works on the car. His dad crew chiefs the car. His mom makes some of the best food in the pit area. Just a good group of folk right there.
So Junior Snow has rejoined the tail end of this field. We are working lap 137. Working our way towards 10 laps to go in this Ag South Farm Credit 150 number. I guess 37 by
Look at Jimmy
Justin
Asher
Mrs.
there.
Matt.
Look
Yes.
at Jimmy Asher there. He's got his arm out the window. He's loving life in the modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle, buddy. Look at that. Cone's coming out. Oh, Matt Garrison's racing it out there.
To the surprise of just about no one in the stands, Burt Myers goes to the outside. Danny Bone is going to start on the high side. Hasn't been up there, and if he restarts, Riley Neal will be the third car on the high line, and Brandon Ward will be fourth. So keep an eye on those two.
Fourth on the outside.
Or fourth on the outside, so
Yes.
eighth on the grid.
Yes.
But yes, worth noting here is Jimmy Asher will pull the modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle off into the grass. We'll get going on lap 138 of 150.
Green flag back out, the thunderous roar of modifieds as the two greatest of all time at the front of the statistics, at the front of the history books, lead the way. Tim Brown, your leader in the 83. Now side by side for third is the battle. Speeney on the inside, Danny Bone on the outside. Speeney gives a right front wheel to Burt Myers. He's on the inside, but the yellow flag is out in the north turn for a big stack up.
John Holloman got turned. Trey Hutchins is around. Denny Probst just stopped up top, and Gerald Robinson Jr. and Susan Harwell slowed and stopped to avoid the incident and have driven their way around. Hutchins now the only one stopped over in the middle of the north turn, middle of turns 3 and 4 effectively, and now he will take the opportunity to throw it in reverse, get it pointed in the right direction. Hutchins goes back around, and so we are back to regular proceedings under a call 811 before you take caution.
Hutchins rejoins the field. Right as that was happening, some contact between Mike Speeney's number 10, the cars right behind that 83 that you see on your screen there. Those two cars making some contact, the right front wheel of Speeney making contact with Myers' machine, sending Myers sideways right before that yellow flag. Something to keep note of as this race progresses into the closing laps here now with 9 laps to go. These cautions do count. With 5 laps to go, we go single file, so hopefully we will go back to green very shortly. You see right there, you saw a great shot of the Hoosier white tire rubbed off the left rear of Burt Myers' machine from some of that contact.
While we work our way towards the closing laps of this race, we'll turn to Tim Brown one more time. He got some thoughts about how to handle the very end of it as you get a look at the rear bumper of Burt Myers. But
look at the tire. There's no more Hoosier on it. That tire-to-tire contact rubbed it off.
So there's a good look at the tire. Let's hear what Tim Brown had to say.
This is the Madhouse, right? And you know the championship's a big deal, and there's teams here that that'll do anything for that. And when you're in a championship hunt, you get phone calls. They're paying such and such to wreck such and such, and you know somebody's great grandma's gonna come and wreck you or slash your tires or whatnot. Man, this at the end of the day, you just got to let all that go in one ear and out the other and do your deal. And if it works out, it works out, and if it don't, then it don't, right? So you can't change it, right? So if you get wrecked intentionally or non-intentionally, it's not your night. It's not your year.
Here we go. Coming to the restart lap 143. Myers and Brown, front row, green flag racing. A little bit of dirt tracking from both the leaders here. Good restarts for both of them. Mike Speeney going to have to do a lot of work here in this out turn to keep alongside Danny Bone. But it's Brown, then Myers, and Bone with the drive on the outside to get clear of Speeney. That might be big for Burt Myers. He gets in the rear of Tim Brown. All sorts of contact amongst our race leaders.
A little bit of accordion, a little bit of polka, polka, polka up front between the top 4 or 5 cars at Bowman Gray Stadium. More bumper tag in the north turn going on for the 3rd and 4th position. Speeney to the backside of Danny Bone. Bobby Meismer is in the wall, bringing out yet again another caution. I think this will get us most likely to single file on the next restart. Big damage on the right front of Meismer's machine. Big damage on the right front of that Kevin Hughes Motorsports number 41.
Big damage to the Nerf bar as well. And to your point, and I notice it here, Burt Myers has got more damage on his Nerf bar too. So
the front bumper. Okay, I got you.
Right, yeah, but the Nerf bars, yeah.
There's Miesmer, a track champion, multi-time track champion at the Concord Motor Speedway in the late model wars, becoming a modified driver later in his career. And now he climbs gingerly out of that number 41 Nor Group Boston Reed Z-Max machine, owned by Kevin Hughes. You see Racing Electronics on board as well, assessing that damage. Let's take a quick break on Flow Racing while we get Miesmer's car towed off. We are back at Bowman Gray Stadium. This is the Ag South Farm Credit 150 for the NASCAR Brad's Golf Cars Modifieds. Here is what happened to bring us in this latest caution flag. Miesmer gets in there, makes left front contact, and that sends himself into the wall pretty hard there in turn number 3. Well, we're at 150. You see the scoreboard right there. Well, that doesn't mean the race is over. That means we're going into overtime. We will see a green-white checker single file restart to decide this race. Will it be Tim Brown or Burt Myers or anybody behind? Going from about 8th or 9th to 6th on that last restart, though, is the big story there, Pike.
Brandon Ward there. I think the other major point that I immediately pick up here, looking at this, Mike Speeney's starting behind Danny Bone, but he's not directly on the rear bumper of Burt Myers. And for as much as those two have gone right after each other for most of this season, Speeney's going to have to move Danny Bone to be able to get to Burt Myers, and this may set it up for Myers and Brown and Bone to fight it out for the race when amongst themselves. Speeney may be able to move Bone, but going to need a little bit of help to be able to get to Tim Brown for the win as the lights are off the modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle.
Testing the brakes, clearing out the throttle, getting ready for the most important restart of the night. The Rocket Tim Brown to the loud pedal first, into the south turn. The fans await and more bumper tag ensues. That separates them.
Tim Brown drove it deep into one, white flag out. Burt Myers was not able to get to him. It's going to take a big move from Burt Myers here somewhere on this last lap to take the win away from the Rocket.
One more set of corners through the north turn comes Tim Brown. The Rocket gets a rocket to the back bumper, but he's the winner of the Ag South Farm Credit 150. The Rocket, Tim Brown, does it, but finishing a few spots behind your champion of 2025, Brandon Ward, and Kevin Powell Speed Motorsports are the title winners.
Winston-Salem, North Carolina's Brandon Ward is now a two-time champion of the Brad's Golf Cars Modified Division here at the Madhouse. It's his second championship of his career following his success in 2023, his second title in the last 3 seasons, and Tim Brown picks up yet another checkered flag in the Ag South Farm Credit 150, the 6th of his career, which moves him alone at the top of the table all time. No driver has more wins in this race than the Rocket out of Tobaccoville, North Carolina. He takes the final checkered flag, and Brandon Ward takes home the track championship. So Brandon Ward taking the opportunity to do a few donuts in the grass to celebrate here. This also counts as a Division I title in the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series as well.
Win 105 for Brown, but the most important headline of the night is this. The white car you see on your screen doing donuts, his family is here. Kevin Powell is celebrating his first championship as a lone car owner in the modified division. And the donuts in front of 17,000 adoring fans by Brandon Ward. Here comes the team to greet him on the infield grass at about the 35-yard line. Throngs of people racing out to the grass. Brandon Ward's your champion, and Tim Brown is your race winner. Let's throw it down trackside to Randy Pulliam.
To take the checkers for his 4th win of the season, coming up next, one final 20-lapper, the QRC HVAC and Refrigeration Street Stock Series to decide that championship. Tim Brown climbing out of the cockpit, the winner. Tim, 4th win. Get some hellos from his family. Tim, 4th win of the season. You came on late in the season. I know you like championships. 4th win of the season, number 105 of your career.
Wow. So I just got to thank, first of all, I got to thank my Lord and Savior for all he does for me. And all these guys standing right here and all my race fans. My family for all the support. I wish they were here. Man, Jerry Hunt, Super Center, Todd Hunt, I love you, man. Thank you for believing in me, buddy. You're the man, and all your employees. Chase, thank y'all for everything. Jody, everything y'all do. Love you guys. Hayes Jewelers, Bruce Hayes, and everybody. Traffic Control Safety Services, Duggins Welding, Colors Edge, Ray Mock Power in the house as always. Pulliam's Hot Dogs, Safe Day, Hawk Brake Pads, Mobile One, Exodyne Valve Train, Poplar Springs Church, Simpson, Steel O Strange, Automator Tie, Designs Magnus, Pro System, Hyperco Tiger. So many people to help us with this program, and my wife and kids are watching on the phone. I love y'all, wish y'all was here, and what a race team we got right here. Tony White, thank you for stepping up. Mike Jones, this is for you, and Jeff Day's birthday. Mike got surgery today, had some kidney stones, and had to have some surgery, and he's in the hospital. We love you, man. We're thinking about you. We miss you. Tony White done an awesome job spotting the night for us, and congratulations to Brandon Ward and that team out there. They deserve a championship, but we'll be out there next year.
Congratulations, team. Let's go over here and pick up your winner's trophy. The Carolina Wood Floors Winner's Circle. Open your doors to beautiful floors at Carolina Wood Floors. And right now, we're going to make our way over here to the Brad's Golf Cars champion of the modified division for 2025, Brandon Ward. Brandon. Brandon, congratulations. Chris and I were just talking up there. That must have been one of the longest 150-lap races you've ever had. Some tense moments. I don't know if you felt it or not, but wow. Congratulations on your second championship.
Thank you, Randy. I really appreciate it. Congratulations to Tim Brown and that team on the win tonight. It was a tough season, as it always is, racing over here week in, week out to pick up a few wins this year and get this championship for a second time for this KP Motorsports team. I just can't thank him enough. Kevin Powell, everything he's done for me in my racing career, and to get a second championship for him is really cool. So, to be able to do that, do it here at Bowman Gray Stadium in front of all these fans, do it with our first year with Suzuki on board, iHeartRadio, Q104 for a long relationship it's been with them, full-time over here, so that's been pretty cool. PME Engines, Bilstein Shocks, thanks to BST, PJ Bryant, Tim Gottschall, everybody that helps us so much. Squeaky Clean, like I say, Bilstein, all these people on this race car, Molecule for keeping this thing clean. We got a lot of cleaning up to do this week, so Don and D. Stahl, Tim White, Will Spot, entire race team, Derek for what he does for us on social media to keep all these fans informed of what we got going on, PSR Racing Chassis, and man, just so much affordable towing. It's awesome to have Daryl Nicky back on board this year, Robin Sandblasting, our welders, all these guys right here. Just everybody that's a part of this, and once again, I can't thank them.
Brandon Ward's second modified champion ties. Max Barrier, Billy Hensley, Robert Jeffries, Paul Radford, Ken Rush, John Smith, Philip Smith, Glenwood, and Satch Worley for 8th all-time in the modified division. We'll be back with more action from the Madhouse here on Flow Racing after this.
Toys Tire and Automotive is a full-service auto repair shop and your #1 source for tires and wheels in Kernersville, North Carolina. They offer a variety of automotive services to keep your vehicle rolling: check engine light repair and diagnostics, oil changes, brake repairs, alignments, balancing, rotations, and general automotive repairs. Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Give Toys Tire and Automotive a call at 336-992-9002 and let them take care of your tire and automotive service needs.
It's an honor to be out here in this grass. We're getting to do it for the second time. Thanks to Advance Auto Parts, NASCAR, Brad's Golf Cars, everybody that does what they do to support this modified division and weekly racing at the NASCAR short track. So thanks to everybody here at Bowman Gray for doing what they do.
Congratulations, Brandon. Soak it up. Champion once again, 2025.
Thank you. We lost my grandma last Sunday. It's hadn't been a week, so to get this championship for her is a pretty big honor.
Congratulations, Brandon Ward, ladies and gentlemen, champion of the Brad's Golf Car Modified for 2025. And we have another special award to give out. It's the Mike Roth Tire and Automotive Top Gun Award, presented by Luke Yarborough, manager of Mike Roth Tire and Automotive Country Club Road. This $1,000 prize is awarded by Mike Roth Tire and Automotive to the driver who won the most modified division races this season, and with 5 wins, that award goes to the ace, Bert Myers. Let's meet and greet the starting lineup for the final race of the season for the QRC HVAC and Refrigeration Street Stock Series. As you remember their starting positions, here is how they roll.
Staley's here we go. She's getting into him. She's saying, we got to go. The big spin. Huge collision here. Oh, calamity and a lot of tore up race cars. Craig Hartless, Motorsports on Main, and he'll send it down Main Street on the front stretch to win for the first time at Bowman Gray Stadium. Give the win to Hartless. And it's a first-time winner in the street stocks. Staley has done it. Kyler Staley, number 8, is number 1 in the fans' hearts tonight. Here we go off the final turn. Staley slows in front of him. Staley gets the win as they wreck across the start-finish line. Brad Lewis is now being declared the winner. He's not happy. He's going after Emily. He gets on Emily Lewis's car, and he jumps on it. Destruction. He's ripping the sheet metal off the car. Madness.
It's been mad at times at the Madhouse, and as we wrap up the championship celebration for the Modifieds, that's a tease of what could be to come. Probably not with any acrobatic. Probably not with some acrobatic jumps into windshields. We hope not. But the street stocks have sure put on a show this year. You've seen a lot. You see the scars, the battle scars on those cars right now. Well, that's because this class is physical. I mean, physical. Okay, whether it was Halverson and Staley or Staley versus the world. But, hey, the battle is on right now for the championship. And you look, this is the tail of the tape. Okay, 2 wins, 3 wins. Average finish, better for Brad Lewis. So why is it that Sykes has the points lead? Well, if you really break it down, it's the double points Knights that have done it for this championship battle right now, okay? The double points Knights, Sykes is plus 12. He finished 10 spots ahead of him the first time, then 2 ahead of him. That's what's kept the 99 up front. But then last week, those 2 drivers got together. When they got together, that basically let Brad Lewis sneak back into this picture. But we're also not talking about there's a driver that's 12 points behind, I believe it is. 12 points behind of the K-Train, Kevin Gilbert, who's also in this one. So these 2 are separated by 6 points going into this. So it'll be the 99 of Brian Sykes and the 16 of Lewis, and then creeping behind the K-Train.
I got the perspectives of both Brad Lewis and Brian Sykes going into today, and I spoke with both of them at length in the garage early this afternoon. Lewis basically said, you know what, look, I'm at peace with whatever happens. I know what I did last week, but I had to get that win for Robbie. That was so meaningful to me, my
Robbie
team, my crew. I wasn't going to stop here. And Brad Lewis also has the most wins this season in the QRC HVAC and Refrigeration Street Stock Division. Brian Sykes, on the other hand, he said, and I quote, I don't want to be mad at myself if I have to race Brad the same way he raced me last week. A lot to unpack from that, but I think it frames where those 2 are mentally coming into tonight really well.
Yeah, I mean, Sykes has had a season, okay, that has been something to be proud of. But really, you know, you see the youngster, he kind of came down across the nose of Brad Lewis. It's not saying Brad Lewis is without fault, but he did. And even some of the team members understood that. But it makes for an interesting framework here for this championship finale. Let's give you the starting lineup for this one. Starting on the front row is your second place points man, the U.S. Unlimited Services 16 for Brad Lewis. On the outside, the Mule Skinner Trucking 00 for the Moose, Donnie Martin.
Starting in third, driving the number 13 Garage Doors of the Triad Machine out of Knoxville, North Carolina. And third in the standings entering tonight, K-Train Kevin Gilbert starting in fourth out of Trinity, North Carolina. The High Point Body and Paint number 1 of Christian Joyce, your 2-time defending and outgoing track champion this evening.
Priority 1 Auto Sales number 99 is next. He's your points leader starting in fifth, the 99 of Brian Sykes Jr. To the outside, the Coger Plumbing number 30 of Zach Coger.
Starting in seventh in the number 8 machine out of Lexington, North Carolina, racing for Privacy Fence Solutions, it's Braden Staley. And starting in the 8th position, racing for Amsoy out of Germantown, North Carolina, the number 19 of TJ Whaley.
Starting in the 9th position will be Brian Shoup in the beautiful number 88. To the outside, the Privacy Fence Solutions, number 7 tonight for Kyler Staley.
Starting in 11th in the number 72 Turn and Burn Hobby and Raceway car out of Lexington, North Carolina, it's Bryant Robertson. And starting in 12th, racing their Avery's Collision Center, number 35, out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, Andy Avery.
Starting in the next position, number 13, will be the number 10 Motorsports on Main car for Craig Hartless. On the outside, the Sykes Metal Roofing, number 28, for Brian Sykes Sr.
Starting in 15th, racing the number 25 Old Greg's Lexington Frame Shop car out of Curtisville, North Carolina, it's Cooper Lowen. Starting in 16th in the number 68 Just Chillin' Lawn Care car out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, Emily Lewis.
Starting in 17th tonight, the number 9, it's Big Country Brandon Brown. To the outside, the Purple People leader, it's Nate Kirk. And the number 80, bringing out the rear of the field, will be the 82 of Halvey, Justin Alverson.
The driver out of Brown Summit, North Carolina, racing for CCW Insurance LLC, completes our 19-car field for the season finale of the QRC HVAC and Refrigeration Street Stock Series. The tightest points battle of all the divisions at Bowman Gray Stadium coming into tonight. And a nod once again to Christian Joyce. Had a great second half of the season. Not going to repeat, not going to make it 3 championships in this division in a row, but still impressive to win the 2 that he did in the most 2 recent seasons here at Bowman Gray as we come to 1 to go, and looking for a good finish to end his 2025 campaign. Once again, your 2 competitors for the title, the neon and black of Brian Sykes Jr., the green and black of Brad Lewis, a Robbie Brewer tribute scheme that will lead us to green. He starts 1st, Stites starts 5th, tied in the points, entering this race. As they stand, it's going to be a lot of fun to see how this pans out as Jimmy Apsher pulls the modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle into its place in the north turn. We're ready for 20 laps of racing in the QRC HVAC and Refrigeration Street Stock Series.
Buckle up, Buttercup. The street stocks are going to get physical in the finale. Green flag is out.
Absolutely nothing left to chance by K-Train, who cut down immediately in front of Brian Sykes Jr. A little bit more contact in the back. Christian Joyce now up to 2nd. K-Train already with the bumper to Christian Joyce. K-Train trying to use the cow catcher to go to the front, get underneath Joyce, and have a shot at Brad Lewis for the win and maybe the title as well.
Choo-choo, here comes the K-Train. The gray car on your screen, the number 13 in the 3rd position for Kevin Gilbert, who's had a rough go the last few weeks, but that's the fastest that car's been all season long. Watching him in practice earlier today, he's all over the backside of Christian Joyce's number 1. The Hot Rod Barn Hero is in 2nd. Your points leader is stalking the back bumper of Gilbert right now, but Gilbert laying the bumper into the number 1.
K-Train has to make a move around Christian Joyce. I don't think normally he would push the issue this early, but if Brad Lewis is in front, K-Train has to find a way to get there if he wants a shot at this division title. So he is heavily leaning on Christian Joyce once again. He's to the inside this time as they go back to the south turn, but Joyce slams the door in front of him.
Joyce sideways now through the south turn, down the east straightaway. Gilbert looks for daylight underneath him. The 1 chops him a bit. Here comes a slight little nudge from the K-Train, trying to make some real estate to the bottom. They flex sheet metal again going into the south turn. Battle Royale here for the 2nd spot.
K-Train got loose out the exit of the south turn. He's going to have to use the bumper, or maybe not, to get up underneath Christian Joyce once again. Brian Sykes Jr. sitting, waiting, watching all of this, but he needs to go too. He needs to make sure that it's not a question, that there's not a points gap between him and Brad Lewis. He's got some work to do as well. So do you wait behind K-Train, or do you force the issue yourself? Big questions here for Brian Sykes Jr. 5 laps, 6 laps, 7 laps now in.
Brad Lewis is leading by a country mile. One of the team cars in the Dylan Ward Racing stable is that number 1 car, who's in 2nd place. Is he trying really hard to help help Brad Lewis, who is the leader? Skinner on the front stretch. TJ Whaley has gone around in the infield grass. The short shorts causing the spin. Man, he was wearing some Daisy Dukes to the driver's meeting today, I'll tell you. And I think that might be the reason he slipped off the accelerator and spun into the infield grass.
He is on the grass as they run. It is so close.
The muscle man. The muscle man.
It is so close. Yeah.
What's the points right now? Is it close?
It's close.
It's got to be close.
It is close. As they run, Brad Lewis up by 6.
Wow.
On Brian Sykes Jr.
So where he is running right now in the 1st position and Sykes in 4th would give him the championship. Folks, this is unbelievable. 6 points separating that driver right there going into it. He was 2nd place in points. The number 16 was 2nd place, 6 points behind. Right now, he is 3 spots ahead of the 99, so he would be your champion if it ended right now. 20-lap race, almost to the halfway point. There it is. As they run unofficially, Brad Lewis would have the championship. But, folks, this one ain't over yet.
Again, 2nd or better for Brian Sykes. Lewis has to have 2 spots on Brian Sykes.
Yep.
Right now, he has 3. And for K-Train, just to do the math, K-Train has to finish 2 ahead of Brad Lewis and 4 ahead of Brian Sykes. So even if K-Train was able to get to the front and get around Brad Lewis, Christian Joyce would have to pass Brad Lewis too. So there's no situation in which K-Train can win the title if Brad Lewis finishes in 2nd. Brad Lewis has to be in 3rd for K-Train to even have a possibility to win this Street Stock Championship.
You know, let's set this up for the folks. Double points night is just so important, okay? Because each position isn't 2 points. It's 4 points per position. Not many racetracks. Well, there's no other racetracks that finished their season with double points night. And this is what makes this finale even more exciting than it already would be. Green flag coming out, 9 laps into the street stock race. The battle is on for third position. Sykes knows he needs to spot the black and fluorescent number 99 is looking for daylight underneath the K-train. He gently nudges his bumper to the back side of the number 13. He's going to have the spot coming down the front straightaway.
Brian Sykes leaving K-Train, no choice. Sykes now up to the third spot. He's got to make some moves here. He's got to get past Christian Joyce to have a shot at this title. K-Train's got to get all 3 of them and hope something else happens. Meanwhile, Christian Joyce putting the pressure on Brad Lewis, but this is all about Brian Sykes closing the gap to the front 2 cars. If he wants a shot at the title, he needs 1 more spot, and he has 9 laps left to make it happen.
Oh boy, will he have time? Will there be a yellow flag? That might be what determines this one. Brad Lewis now working past some lap machines, including the sideways TJ Whaley, who spins in front of him. Could this be the spot he needs? Sykes narrowly avoids him. Wow, almost destruction, almost a tough moment for the points leader, for the second place driver and the third place driver of Sykes, with Whaley spinning in front of them.
Heart in mouth moment for anybody inside that top 3. A huge break, though, for both Brian Sykes Jr. and Kevin Gilbert, who will have the opportunity to reset behind the modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle and have the opportunity to get after Christian Joyce once again. Joyce is the fun wild card in all this because he is here racing for a win. Everybody else in the mix trying to run for a title. So Joyce has the speed to be up there, but he's the one who doesn't really have anything on the line in this scenario. Everybody else racing not just for the win, but for a title as well.
Let's take a look at this replay here on Flow Racing, and you see Whaley gets completely loose there, overcorrects it, and spins. Wow, that was close. Almost taking out 3 to 4 of the top competitors for TJ Whaley. Not a great moment. And there are the Sykes cars. There is Brian Sykes Sr. Lots of pandemonium going on here. We thought the 16 was stretching out that lead, and that happened. Let's see. I'm telling you, the street stock division has been full of entertainment. There is the Braden Staley car, usually driven by Kyler Staley. Tonight, Kyler Staley is in the Zach Staley number 7. Usually Kyler is in the number 8.
So Braden Staley getting a push. That car came to a stop in the middle of the south turn. That's why the field was stopped on the front straightaway. But now Staley is rolling. Modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle is rolling. And Brad Lewis is back rolling behind it as your race leader, 13 laps.
Let's look at this right here. And you see Gilbert earlier on trying to get the spot. You know, look at the flexing of the sheet metal right there. Clean but physical racing. This is one of the most physical divisions we have here at Bowman Gray Stadium as the lights are out on the Pace vehicle. And this is a dramatic points battle. You see the top 3 that we just saw on your screen. The 16 has the buffer of the number 1 of Christian Joyce, a Dylan Ward Racing team car. The number 99 has to get in front of that 1 to win his title. If he doesn't, Brad Lewis gets it. Here we go. Desperation Avenue. Green flag is unfurled here on lap number 13.
That was an incredible jump there from Christian Joyce. He got a great restart behind Brad Lewis, and Brian Sykes is going to have at least a car length of 8. But I just noticed, I don't know if this is a trend that's going to continue as we keep going green flag racing. Sykes loose off the corner, and Christian Joyce is just able to get the power down back to the gas a little bit. They're gapping Brian Sykes Jr. every time they go on a straightaway, and the gap between Sykes and second, but more importantly, the division title is only getting bigger and bigger with 5 laps to go.
The drama dial has turned up here at Bowman Gray Stadium, and right now there's desperation in all the drivers here. Right now, the biggest desperation is in the 3 spot. Brian Sykes Jr. is trying to hold on to that spot. He needs to gain 1 more spot to get the title.
Brian Sykes Jr. cannot let Brian Robertson get around him. He's already got to find a way around Christian Joyce. If he loses the spot to Brian Robertson, that may just about leave curtains coming down on his title effort. But a 8-1-1 before you dig. Caution comes out one more time to reset this. 17 laps on the board. Matthew Dillner, I think we're going green-white checker to end
We
this.
might be going green-white checker. We don't know what the it was for, but we were looking at the TJ Whaley car, who was kind of slowing down there in front of the leader once again, but it might have been debris on the racetrack. We do not know, but right now we are going to a green-white checker finish to decide the Street Stock Championship. Fans rising to their feet here at the Madhouse. Brad Lewis has a lot to race for. He lost one of his best friends just the other week. He won for him last week. Racing in the memory of Robbie Brewer tonight. Can he win the championship? Brian Sykes Jr. in third. Can he make up that one spot to get it done?
Brian Sykes Jr. needs this spot from Christian Joyce. Brad Lewis is doing everything he needs to do. Modern Chevrolet Pace vehicle back into its place. Green flag goes. Oh, Christian Joyce got loose in the corner. This may be the opportunity for Brian Sykes, who's going to move Christian Joyce up the racetrack and make the pass for second and maybe make the pass for the title as well. Brian Sykes Jr. in position here, working our way towards the final few laps of the race.
If this settles out the way it does, Brian Sykes Jr. will be your champion.
Brian Sykes Jr. now clear. Here comes Brian Robertson. K-Train coming. Christian Joyce is fading. And Brian Sykes Jr. has space around his car. White flag here. Brad Lewis is leading, but will it be enough?
Brad Lewis has done everything he can to get that 16 up front, to win races for his friend, the fallen Robbie Brewer, to win the title. He takes the checkered flag, but the champion follows in tow. Brian Sykes Jr. does it. He's the champion of the Street Stock Division at Bowman Gray in 2025. Sykes Jr., the young man, is victorious in the championship fight.
Brian Sykes Jr. had to have the spot on the final restart and got underneath Christian Joyce when it mattered most to get second in this race and claim the 2025 QRC HVAC and Refrigeration Street Stock Championship. Arguably the drive of the night as Sykes Jr. and Sr. celebrate in the grass, but Brian Sykes Jr. is a champion at Bowman Gray Stadium for the first time in his career.
There is a bevy of celebrations from the back pit area. Those virtual team cars under the Sykes umbrella, the Staleys, all celebrating. Cooper Lowe out there ripping donuts. Brian Sykes Sr. is now driving through victory lane. The crowd is going crazy as Sykes climbs out on the backstretch, hyping up the East Grandstand, the champion.
Had to have it and got it. In maybe one of the most dramatic title swings we've seen at Bowman Gray in quite some time. Not too long are we going to go, and I think maybe a while actually we're going to go before we see a championship decided in the final 2 laps of the last race of the season. Here you see Brad Lewis coming over, driving past Brian Sykes Jr.
Some respect there. Brad Lewis, a great veteran of the Stadium Wars here in the Radical Fire number 16 U.S. Unlimited Services, getting his 4th win of the season, his 10th career win for the driver, the number 16. Stopping there on the back straightaway, but now Sykes, you see the crew is running across the infield grass. The crew is running with flags across the infield grass, celebrating. Look at this. It looks like they're marching into war. It's battle flag time. What a celebration for the 25-year-old driver who is now a champion. Second generation effort. His father, the Staleys, all there. It's a mosh pit. Look at this. We have a victory lap by the crew.
Team celebrating Brian Sykes Jr. up there. Brian Sykes Jr. becomes the 36th driver to win a street stock championship, and it is the third time in the history of the division that the title has been decided by 2 points. There is a flood of people coming from the grandstands and from the pits to celebrate with Brian Sykes Jr. for this camp and the Greg camp in this particular corner of the families of Bowman Gray Stadium. This is absolutely everything to them, Matthew Dillner.
It sure is. This is everything to these drivers, and this is everything to the Sykes family, who's poured a lot into Bowman Gray racing for so many years. His father, a racer himself, they are now pushing that car to a start, and he will go to victory lane to celebrate. Right now, the really cool thing to see is Brad Lewis outside of his car, pushing his car to victory lane. He's been doing this in honor of Robbie Brewer, the fallen sportsman racer, and he now pushes his car into victory lane with his family and team as well. A great night here in the street stock division. Let's throw it down to Randy Pulliam.
Brad, congratulations. Win number 4
of the season. Came also close to that track championship. Lost it by 2 points, but what a season you had.
Yeah, it's okay. I told God before this race I was at peace with it. Whatever he wanted, that's what we were going to do. I stopped at turn 3 for Robbie. That's my boy. That's where he went out first time, and that's why we pushed that car up here. This is all for Robbie. Top gun, I mean, hard charger. We did everything we could.
Well, I know you couldn't do it without your sponsors. Why don't you give them a shout out?
I got a lot of them. Radical Fire Protection, Dawn and Roger. Right Shorts Plumbing, Jacob. Just Chillin' Lawn Care, Brandon. Just Chillin' Services, Corey Cottle. Ceramic Pro, Tri-County Real Estate. Unlimited Steps, my boy Joey Baker. That's my man right there. L&S Planning. Randy's cutting some lettering this beautiful wrap with a 68 in it. Austin Inman, Washington Park Barber. Carolina Heritage Vineyard and Winery. And let me tell you, this sticker right here means more than just racing. This is my family right here. Dylan Ward, he's the one that gets it done. I got a couple kids, Grayson with Danny's and Gray Cards. Wiser the Word does all my stuff on social media. Velocita, Gas and Glitter with Velocita. We got a lot of people support this team. If you want to get on for next year, we talking about come run Sportsman, so you get on and help us out.
Brad, congratulations on your 4th win of the season, 10th of your career.
Yeah, I want to thank Marissa Ward, too. She come out here and took a picture with the hard charger. It was that girl that got me to the front all year long, so that's hers.
Let's go over here and pick up a trophy over at the Carolina Wood Floors Winter Circle. Congratulations, Brad. We're going to get over here, try to get a word with Brian Sykes Jr., the champion of the 2025 QRC HVAC and Refrigeration Street Stock Series. We're going to try to get over here and get a word with Brad. Brian, congratulations. You did what you needed to do by the slimmest of margins, but it doesn't matter. You are the champion of the QRC HVAC and Refrigeration Street Stock Series.
Billy Gregg told me it was now or never, and it was then. I got so many people to thank. Cooper Lowe, Sonya Lowe, without them I couldn't do this. Billy Gregg, Nate Gregg, I can't say enough about them. I mean, you see where we're at. My dad, all my crew guys, everybody in this shop, I couldn't do this without them. And all these great partners I got. Priority One Auto Sales, Travis and Zach, I appreciate y'all. Premier Metal Buildings, Adam Mack, Sykes Metal Roofing, Greg's Old Lexington, Quid Pro Q, RJ Customs, L&D Construction, Olympic Family Restaurant, Friends Farm and Weddings, Velocita, Bad Brad. Woo.
Congratulations. Brian, congratulations.
You are the champion of the QRC HVAC and Refrigeration Street Stock Series for 2025.
What a celebration. More like a mosh pit down there, a close-knit group in that side of the pit area. And you heard him thank Cooper Lowe and Sonia. I mean, that's a competitor that was out there today that gave him a chance in his own car, stepped out of the seat of his own car because that side of the pit area believes in the talent of that 25-year-old driver. So that speaks a lot for that side of the pit area and how much they believe in this kid. But he's not just a steering wheel holder. Billy Gregg has tutored this man into a racer, somebody that works on his own cars. He and Nate Gregg and the boys and Kyler Staley, that's a good group of hardcore racers. As they celebrate a championship, we'll take a break. We have another champion crown in the in the Q104.1 Stadium Stock Series. That one is next.
Mustang out of Boonville to number 60 of Brad Michalowski. Rolling off 14 in the Alpha Quality Drywall, Carolina Disco Turkish Mustang from Tobaccoville to number 83 of Michael Cates. Starting 13 in the Napa on Stratford Road, Let It Grow Landscaping Mustang from Advance to number 2 of Carson Reed. Starting 12 in the Infinity Insurance Group Drainage Solutions of North Carolina Ford Mustang. He comes into the evening, your points leader, driving car number 68 tonight, is Brandon Brindle. Starting 11 in the Little Donuts machine is the car number 88 of Zach Taylor. And now your top 10. He's driving the Paris Tire Jerry Hunt Supercenter Ford out of Knoxville, the defending champion of the Q104.1 Stadium Stock Series. Not totally out of the hunt, but he's got some work to do. The car number 24 of A.J. Sanders. Rolling off 9 in the Elizabeth Pizza Triad Orthodontics Ford Mustang from Thomasville. Also in the points hunt, the car number 47 of Tyler McDonald. Rolling off 8 in the Olivia Massage and Wellness Bicycle Lawn Care Ford Mustang out of Advance, number 86 of Dakota Miller. Rolling off 7 in the Bicycle Lawn Care, Carolina Disco Turkish Mustang out of Tobaccoville. Picked up his first career win a few weeks ago, the car number 51 of Andrew Cates. Starting 6 in the Street Service Ford out of Knoxville. He also picked up his first career win a few weeks ago, the number 44 of Blaine Sanders.
Side by side, off the corner, brotherly love, brotherly photo finish. Andrew Cates nips his brother at the line.
We got calamity down in 1 and 2.
Big contact.
Jersey Wally did get into it.
Pard Pinto, Pard Mustang, all Pintang, all victory lane for the legend. Another touching win. This one belongs to Brewer and Brendel. Brendan Brendel wins it. That was for Robbie.
Touching moments in the Stadium Stock Division, of course, last week, in honor of Robbie Brewer, the fallen racer, who we miss so very much. Our thoughts and prayers with his family. Tonight, this is the last feature of the night, and we have ourselves a points battle. We have ourselves a championship fight. Let's show you the points at the top of the Stadium Stock Division. Brandon Brendel, he'll be in a 68 tonight in honor of Robbie Brewer, but he is battling with Luke Smith for this title. And it's pretty darn tight. 28 points separating the two of them at the top of this one. Tyler McDonald, A.J. Sanders, they could still do it. Chuck Wall is mathematically capable, eligible. But you know what? Let's talk about this. Luke Smith, where he's starting, and we'll get the starting lineup right now, technically starts this race tied with Brendan. Let's give you the starting lineup, starting on the pole. In the number 27 Tysinger Lawn Care machine, it's Austin Cates to the outside. Will be the 22, the Tux detailing car for Peanut Baker.
Starting in third, the number 15 Stacking Pennies car out of Boca Raton, Florida, it's Andre Chavez. And starting in 18th out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, racing for Trebet's Roofing and Guttering, it's the 18 of Billy Andrews.
Starting next is your second place points man in the 5th position. The Triad Florentine 80 for Luke Smith to the outside. The Dean's Tree Services 44 for Blaze Sanders.
Starting in 7th, racing the number 51 Tobaccoville, North Carolina native Carolina Disco Turkeys machine, and racing for Ostentation Nation, it's Andrew Cates. And starting in 8th, the 86 machine, the MTV Productions car to Advance, North Carolina, Dakota Miller.
Look at this row starting next. In the 47 Patriot Market machine, Tyler McDonald to the outside. The Jerry Hunt Supercenter number 24, the Grandmaster of the Stadium Stocks, it's A.J. Sanders.
Starting in 11th, the number 88 Greg Butcher trucking car out of Lexington, North Carolina, it's Zach Taylor. Starting in 12th, and the 68, the points leader racing for Infinity Insurance Group out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, it's Brandon Lee Brendel.
Carson Reed in the Napa car starts next. Michael Cates, Brad Michalowski, rookie Colton Brown, the great Chuck Wall, 17th. All the way from the back, he's going to have to do it. Sidney Sanders brings out the rear of the field. This division, for years, beloved as the Buzz Bombers. I like to say that because I think it's darn cool. Some people just know them, generationally, as the Stadium Stocks. The title is on the line. Who's it going to be? 15 laps to decide it, but they call off the start. Peanut Baker went a little early. Cates on the bottom. Baker on the outside. You see the white number 80 in third, Pike. That is the second place points man. He starts this race technically in the points lead with Brendel starting 12th. Green flag is out. Cates and Peanut bring them to green.
Luke Smith wasting no time up the rear bumper, trying to get underneath Peanut Baker. Might get to second. There goes Cates around. There goes the 10 machine around. No yellow flag yet. Luke Smith trying to get to the race lead. Brandon Brendel trying to find his way in. And there's our first call, 811 before you dig caution here in the Q104.1 Stadium Stock Series season finale.
Billy Andrews, the racing roofer, the number 18, goes around. Synchronized spinning with the Disco Turkey.
I thought that was a Sonoma thing.
That was like... So, huh?
They just do that as you know when they come down to like turn 7 into the hairpin.
Oh, no, I'm thinking about swimming pool. Synchronized swimming, that's synchronized spinning.
Right.
By those two drivers. The racing roofer, and there is the points leader, the number 68 car. It was the 43, but that's Scooter, Brandon Lee Brendel.
This is going to be all about how Brandon Lee Brendel can work his way through the field. If he can gain a few spots, he'll take the fight for the title out of Luke Smith's hands, but he's got to gain a little bit of track position just to feel safe. And I think most importantly, don't get yourself into trouble. Don't get damaged.
Real quick, just to explain to the fans, there's a 68 on the side of the car. He's traditionally a 43, but that is in honor of Robbie Brewer, who we lost 2 weeks ago. That is his tribute to him. He's trying to win this title for him tonight. Now, Cates will be the first to the button. Luke Smith trying for his championship, his first to the backside. Green flag is out. A little bit of bumper play to the backside of the Tysinger Lawn Care machine makes some room. Here comes Luke Smith to the lead.
Luke Smith making the move. Where does Brandon Lee Brendel go further behind? Luke Smith cannot do any more than he's doing right now, leading this race. This is now entirely in Brandon Lee Brendel's hands as he tries to get to the inside a little bit further back in this field. Luke Smith will try and create a gap. Brendel going to try and gain some spots to clinch the title and make it easy.
Way back in the back is Brandon Lee Brendel, and he is struggling right now because there is a group of cars that were in front of him 3 wide just a lap or two ago, and it is wild right now. He has to get a few more spots, it looks like, to get this title, maybe one more, possibly for the number 68 car. You see on the right side of your screen the white car, the second white car in that battle, following Brad Michalowski's number 60 through. Here comes Brandon Lee Brendel to the inside of Michalowski. Right now, it looks like he would be your points leader and your champion as he moves up through this field.
Brandon Lee Brindle trying to get the spot on Michalowski, trying to make sure that he can lock down this title of his own accord. He's got Chuck Wall following in soon, just behind him. Michalowski now handing control of the title race over to Brandon Lee Brindle as Peanut Baker is a little bit slow on the front straightaway, losing ground here to some of the drivers just ahead of him. He'd be next on the list for Brandon Lee Brindle to go chase, but Chuck Wall's got a fast machine behind Brindle and could change his picture very quickly as well.
Brindle is in 6th position, it appears, right now, and that would give him the championship as he marches his way through the field. The driver, that white number 68 on your screen. Now he rockets to the bottom of the number 27. Wall in tow through the north turn. Luke Smith is leading this one. He's doing everything he can as we're halfway into this, but the march of Scooter continues in that number 68 through the field.
Continuing to work their way through this. Luke Smith still in control of it. Brandon Lee Brindle still trying to work his way towards the front, starting to work their way around lap traffic as well. So makes the job fun for our scoring team here at Bowman Gray Stadium. As Brindle looks to the inside, trying to get another spot, will indeed make the pass and get the job done. As the call 811 before you did caution does finally come out.
Sydney Sanders is pulled to the infield in turn 3 in her number 11. Well, Luke Smith at the front of this field, he can't do anything more than what he's doing right now. And as you see that car, Luke Smith has had a tumultuous day. Okay, so it's a wonder that he's even in the lead right now. Because this morning in morning practice, he blew an engine. They had to take that number 80 car back and put a new power plant in it. The number 80 of Luke Smith returned to the racetrack right before practice started, right before our racing program started. So that, folks, is drama. Now he has the 80 car up in the lead.
He's got the 80 car up in the lead. The problem for Luke Smith is that Brandon Lee Brindle's worked his way up into the 4th spot. You've got some heavy hitters in the stadium stocks up front, so it's going to be a challenge for Brindle to get the track position, but he'd love to walk away with a win in addition to a title if he can finish it all. 10 laps up on the board. Tyler McDonald now trying to challenge Luke Smith for the race lead. AJ Sanders looking for another spot here, and then Brindle running in 4th with Chuck Wall 5th.
That is a conga line of race winners, if I've ever seen one. That's the cream of the crop in the stadium stock division in that top 5.
And worth noting, top 5 in this race right now, all top 5 in this division in points in some way, shape, or form. The best of the best in 2025 in the Q104.1 stadium stocks, fighting it out here in the final handful of laps. Tyler McDonald had a nose underneath Luke Smith, has a bumper to Luke Smith, moves Luke Smith sideways, tried to move him off the racetrack. Smith hung on to it. Now here comes AJ Sanders, who's going to get into McDonald. They almost get into it. The front bumper comes off of Sanders' machine, and we say green flag racing for the moment, but the bumper on the racetrack will bring out our next call 811 before you take caution, and there's one other car. Colton Brown has stopped over in turn 4.
Colton Brown, who's having himself a good season, the rookie competitor from Ellerbe, North Carolina, and the MB Productions and Rodeo machine, is stopped in turn number 4 as he gets it righted around, and the front bumper is gone from AJ Sanders' car, and the left front fender is a little bit of an issue, I believe. It is kind of hanging off there. I wonder if he'll be allowed or he will be black flagged. It will be interesting. Nothing is hanging off of it, though. It's just flapping. So I don't think they're going to call him in for that.
Be interesting to see how they rule that. Will Race Control, and a neat thing to see Sanders up here. This has been a difficult season by his standards. He did not have race-winning speed in the first half of the season, but worthy of a nod to the Grandmaster, the 5-time champion of this division and defending champion. Will not have the chance to repeat tonight, but AJ Sanders ending this season where he wanted to, is we are going to get a green-white checker, or rather green and white and then checker finish show. 1 lap of racing to finish off this 2025 Bowman Gray Stadium season in the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series. And to call the end of action here in season number 76, here's the voice of the stadium, Matthew Dillner.
The buzz rises. The fans rise to their feet. 1/4 mile trip around for the Buzz Bombers to Stadium Stocks to decide this feature event, the season finale in the 76th year of racing at Bowman Gray. And coming off the turn number 4 to the win is Luke Smith, and the championship will be Brandon Lee Brendel. Scooter does it! A championship won for his fallen friend, Robbie Brewer. Luke Smith with the win. He did what he had to, but Brendel is your champion.
And you think of what the last 2 years have been for Brandon Lee Brendel. Went up a division last year, didn't work out the way he wanted it to, comes back to racing the Q104.1 Stadium Stock Series, and now he is back on top as the champion here at Bowman Gray Stadium of the Buzz Bombers, the old blunderbuss division, the four-cylinder freaks as they were.
Yeah, the four-cylinder division, yeah, the Buzz Bombers for sure. The win, of course, to Smith. He carries the checkered flag around, but celebrating the championship. He had some pressure because his boy's been killing it in baseball, okay? So he had to get it done, okay? And he did this year with 6 wins to his credit this year in this division, and now his second championship. He won the 2021 championship in this division, and now he celebrates again. This is one of the greats of the Stadium Stocks. That is a great burnout. Wow. Smoke him if you got him.
About to say one of the best burnouts of the night.
My gosh.
From the division with the smallest motor of any of them at Bowman Gray, but just because the power plant's not as big doesn't mean you can't create a good burnout for these fans.
Look at him dance through these perfect circles.
Yeah.
It's like Olympic rings. My gosh, Pike, that's amazing.
He's ready for the Olympics in 3 years, I guess, here on our shores, isn't he?
Well, let's throw it down to victory lane, because first we're going to get Luke Smith to climb out, the winner.
Smith in that Triad 14 hot rod takes the win for the 3rd time this season. And Luke Smith is climbing out of the cockpit right now. Luke, you did what you could do. Came up a little short, but nonetheless, 3rd win of the season. Gotta be feeling great.
Oh, yeah. We've learned a lot this year. And to come home with 3 wins, it feels real good. You know, we finished 2nd in points, but we gave it all we got. So, congratulations to Brandon. We had a good year racing with him. But I got a lot of people to thank here, and I'll be forgetting a lot of people, but I got to thank my dad and my uncle. They give me this opportunity each and every week, so I got to thank them a lot. I got to thank my crew. Jonathan Cook, he makes his way down here from Mebane, North Carolina, each and every week to help me get this thing fast, so I got to thank him a lot. Scooter, he works with me every single week getting this thing ready. He puts in a lot of work for us. His whole family. I thank my girlfriend for sticking it out with me all year. She's been so supportive, and she helps me a lot. I got to thank the Harris family, especially Isaac Harris. He's helped me out a lot of that past couple of weeks, and he's really made a difference on this ride too, and I got to thank the whole Harris Flemings for everything they've done for me. And then I got to thank Kevin Bush, Bush the Machine. He's behind the scenes, but he really helps me when it means the most.
Well, Luke, give us a little insight. You had some trouble this morning in practice. Give us a little insight for those that may not know what happened.
The blue number 3 rod at the block on both ends. But I got to thank Brad and Ted Michalowski. They stuck it out with us in the shop during the day, and they helped us change it out, so I got to thank them a lot. We probably couldn't have done it without them.
Well, congratulations, Luke. Let's go over here and pick up a winner's trophy from the Carolina Wood Floors Winner's Circle. Open your doors, beautiful floors at Carolina Wood Floors. And now we're going to speak to the Q104.1 2025 Stadium Stock Champion, Brandon Brindle. Brandon, wow, you did what you needed to do. What a great season. Picked up your second title. Congratulations.
Yeah, I first want to thank Todd Barnhart because he gave me this hot rod to wheel and gave me free range on it, and it shows. I want to thank all the guys that helped me, Bobby, Larry, Justin, Sean, Blaine. Robert Shermiska actually came last week and helped me, and he came today and helped me a little bit. I want to thank him too. Thanks, Bug. And Justin, my spotter, he's the one that keeps me calm.
Well, calm, cool, and collected. You had a great season. Congratulations. You are champion once again. Q104.1 Stadium Stock Champion, Brandon Brindle.
Brindle's second championship ties Johnny Burke, Randy Moore, Tommy Neal, Wesley Thompson with 2 championships. To his credit, his family and crew and team, an emotional victory lane for them. Congratulations to the 2025 champions of the season. This concludes a great season here at the Madhouse. James Pike, I've been very proud to have you up in the booth alongside of me for much of the racing this year. What's your closing thoughts on this most amazing night at Bowman Gray Stadium?
I think of the champions. I think you have to on this last night, right? You think of Brandon Lee Brindle coming back to this division and finding his footing once again. You think of 2 of the most talented young drivers in the stadium, out right across all divisions, and Brian Sykes Jr. and Chase Robertson winning championships, and then Brandon Ward just consistent all season long to get title number 2. How big for him, and a big shout out also to everyone that's worked on these shows, both here in Winston-Salem and in Concord. It is not possible without the many people behind the scenes who make these shows possible. And as a Winston native, always an honor, a privilege, and a pleasure to bring the action of the Madhouse from my hometown to everyone here watching on Flow Racing and everybody else around the world.
A great night here at the Madhouse. I'll remember it for a lot of different reasons. Of course, history being written every week. Losing Robbie Brewer was a tough part of this year, but we will always remember him as we race on. But just great championships, young, up-and-coming racers winning titles, and veterans winning titles. Bowman Gray is still the most exciting of them all, and it always is. Every time you come here and spend money through the gates, you want to pay on the way out.
North Carolina's Chris Fleming is the winner of the Cookout Madhouse Classic.
Side by side, off the corner, brotherly love, brotherly photo finish.
Amberland back to the victory lane at Bowman Gray Stadium.
I've got the pen now, I've got the paper, and I'm the all-time greatest. Tim Brown, the Rocket, gets win 104. Staley gets the win as they wreck across the start-finish line. Wait, no.
They give the checkered flag to Brad Lewis.
We've got a chase. A chase is on. Will it be the north turn nudge? Yes, it is. Ward gets into him. Myers sideways. Here comes Brandon Ward to win I'm Matthew Dillner for James Pike, for everybody involved. This has been a wonderful season at Bowman Gray Stadium. Still the most exciting of all. Until next time, remember, we'll be at the Cookout Clash in February, but we'll see you at the races.
Telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. This copyrighted